Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to Silicon that push up lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand, you can't move me. The music is man, it's a con job, but it's grand. I'm blessed with a great hand amongst many that stand. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And they say that it don't, when they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying. Look, they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Mine more so now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big.
Hello. This is Unsolicited, and I am Security Boss. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic evening. It is Friday night, and I thank you all for being here. Thank you, guys. Make sure when you're coming into the live, you're giving me the thumbs up. I got a terrific guest here tonight. I'm going to bring her up in just a few moments, but I want to first let you all know, welcome to SB Nation. That's right. If y'all haven't got on with it yet, you all are part of SB Nation. You guys are my supporters, and I love all of it. You guys show up for me. It's Friday night, and y'all could be anywhere, but you're here with me, and I definitely appreciate it. So I'm going to say hello to a few of you. Brittany B., it is Friday night. Eugene Steele, hello. TR Baby. I appreciate you, and thank you for being here. And if anybody else, Don, you not here, so I'm not going to say anything to you. You're right. But I'm glad you all are here, and thank you all for joining. So remember, guys, when you come in, make sure you're giving me the thumbs up. We're going to have an excellent show tonight. We're talking about disrespect. Oh, one more thing I want to let you all know. Y'all know everybody loves that Moneyline song, but guess what? In order to have good conversation and not so much interruption, I appreciate your support. Now, don't get it wrong. I don't want y'all to stop supporting with the super chats, but we have to increase the value to $9.99 because we want to keep the conversation going. And I appreciate you all, but that don't mean I'm not going to read your super chats. But what I'm going to do is read the super chats, but anything under $9.99, we're just reading. Anything above $9.99, you will get the Moneyline song. And I still appreciate you. I love the Moneyline song too. You know what to do when you hear the Moneyline song. You start to move them shoulders. But that's where we are, guys. We want to have this good conversation because tonight is disrespect. And y'all know how that go. Man against woman. Woo! Woman against woman. Men, y'all work it out. Y'all work it out. But us, we have all kind of issues. So anyway, here we go. We're going to bring her up now. It is Miss Island Q.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, good evening, Security Boss and your husband in the back. You know, it's a partnership. How are y'all doing tonight?
Ma'am. We're doing well. Can you turn maybe we can do it on this end. I want you to turn your mic up just a little bit so I can make up. Hold on 1 second. No, don't do it. We'll do it on this end. You're good. Okay. All right. So listen, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was working out, came home, took me a little nap, and that's all.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds like a good full day. So how you liking your new job though?
I actually don't start till the 14th, so I'm excited. I can't wait. It's remote as well, so it's just a up and up level. So I can't wait.
Oh, that's good to hear. Now you know the men love Q, so that's why we got her here tonight. And Q, you're gonna help me onto this disrespect because as of late, everything I've been hearing is disrespect. You can't say anything to anybody without them being disrespected. So I want to know if I'm crazy or is it just we walk around with attitudes and no one can say anything to, each other. I don't really know, but we're going to get into it in just a minute. But first, I just want to talk to you a little bit now. You recently have come into this YouTube space and me too. But how are you enjoying it since you've been here?
Honestly, I like it. It's good getting different perspectives and hearing what's outside my norm because I'm in a little bubble. So I just hang out with my family and I stay at home or I travel. So I don't really go out to see what's going on. So it's good to hear other people's perspective and see what's going outside the norm. But it's kind of shocking. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what is this? What does this term mean? I'm like, so I kind of feel out the loop, but it's good to gain knowledge and perspective from other people's lives and their environments because you never know who you might run into. It's just some things are just shocking.
I always feel out of the loop. I just wonder why people won't just talk normal. Everything is an emoji or initials. I'm like, listen, it's so funny. It took me, this is no lie, it took me a whole 24 hours to figure out what BW was.
I was trying to figure out what KS meant. I'm like, what is KS? Why do people keep on saying KS? Like, what does that mean?
I couldn't get a BW though. BW is worse.
Wait,
BW is worse.
I had to ask somebody what that was too. So you're not the only one. I was like, what is it? I heard a BW. Wait. I heard a BBW, but I've never heard of BW. I was like, wait, what's BW? There was like,
I know. I
was like, ooh.
Ooh, I know, like you should have known that, right? I was like dang. Whole 24 hours. I was trying to read a comment and I was like, ooh, BW. Ooh, what is this? Ooh, because you don't know whether it's insulting, if it's good, you don't know how to respond. You like
exactly.
It's just crazy. So I get it. I don't know why we don't talk in plain English. I guess that's just gone. Takes too much time. I don't know, but I know we don't. Ine, how are you? Thank you for being here. So listen, tonight is gender talk, and normally on gender talk, there's always men, a lot of men. But I wanted you to come in. Erin Nicole Franco, hello, ha ha ha. My 10-year-old always tells me to use emojis. What is going on with these emojis? But then you gotta look up the emojis because you don't know what you're saying.
Make sure it means the right thing.
How do they know it though? How do people know?
I come up with my own terms. I'm like, this emoji means this. If it takes it the wrong way, I'm sorry. This is what it means.
I gotta get with it because I'm way behind. I'm not the social media person, so I be way lost. I be looking up every emoji. Okay, this is a nice comment. Oh, you just cussed me out. I be all down. What? So I don't know. So.
It's okay. I ask questions. I'm like, what is a 304? They're like, you don't know what that means? I was like, no. I
do though. I got that one. I got the 304, but it's a lot of them. I'd be like, oh, okay, slow down because I have no idea why we even using this one. So KS is Kevin Samuels. So you got that right?
Yeah, someone told me about that.
Guess what? I'm officially SB now.
Okay, see, that's simple. See, maybe because I watch your show, so that's simple. I never used to watch Kevin Samuels till I came on YouTube, and then they used to talk about him so much. I'm like, who is Kevin Samuels? I'm like, let me go on here and watch him, and then they're like KS. I was like, okay, let me. I need to get hip because. Y'all need to come up with a whole dictionary because all these terminologies, red pill, blue pill, I was so confused.
I haven't gotten there yet, so I'm not worried.
I still haven't got there.
No, that sounds like something else for somebody else, but I don't know. I'm not there yet. I couldn't tell you about that one, but I do want to know this. You seem like a girl after my own heart. You're a lady. You carry yourself like one, and it seems as though you want to have a husband.
I do.
So from the comment that you made or the question that you asked the other day, are you thinking about becoming a content creator?
JR has been pushing me to be a content creator. And then I talked to my brothers and stuff, and they were like, you should take it serious, right?
Oh, if
That's
you
why, hence, I got the mic. That's why I got the lighting. They was like, you don't really do anything anyways on the weekends. You'd be at home. I was like, you might as well use your voice because you're good at talking to people, strangers, and just communicating. So after they convinced me, I'm like, okay, JR, I can definitely do this. I can definitely do it. I don't want to just put it into relationship basis. I want to talk about entrepreneurship because that's very important, especially in our society, the lack of knowledge that's out there. People don't know where to go. So I gave him a couple ideas on the first couple of shows, like having a first platform of just Black businessmen, and then the second platform of just Black business women, and then another platform of just mental health help. Because I see a lot of times I'm on this platform and we have a lot of military men that come on the platform. So shout out for y'all. And I know mental health is very important, and I play a big part into that due to the fact I've dealt with mental illness. So I feel like I don't really like talking just but relationships because men mental health is important, women mental health is important, entrepreneurship is very important in today's society. So I wanted to kind of mix things up on that platform. So I gave him a couple ideas on what my couple of first 3 episodes would be. So he said, yeah, that's cool. I was like, okay, I gotta see what this job is first. Let me see what my schedule is and see if I can I don't want to be on there for 5 hours, just do something for like 2 hours and more informational, and then mix it up a little bit.
Well, good luck with that, because sometimes you can't control it.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And it's so crazy. The time flies. You'll be like, oh my God, how long we been here? If you get into it, the time will fly. So let me say hello to a couple people. M. Mills, thank you so much. She says good evening to the pretty ladies. Thank you. Shannon, hello, we're watching. Thank you so much. So that's a very hard field. Turn down her mic.
Turn it down.
Not your mic. Your computer? What you wanted to turn down? Wait 1 second. We're getting some feedback. Can you turn down your YouTube a little bit?
There's my YouTube's not open. It's just a chat. I closed it out.
No, you're fine. I think it went away. Okay. So that's a very hard field because that's what I started in. Mm-hmm. My professional channel was me being a woman, a boss, an entrepreneur. That's difficult for a woman because I don't know if I'm sure you figured it out, but the YouTube space is a man's space. Mm-hmm. We just in here and they just have to like us.
We're just visitors.
Yeah, we're just visitors. We just knocking on the door. Can we see what y'all doing?
Yeah.
They happen to like us and we keep it friendly. So, it's good. Hold on 1 second. Sir Chai, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. It's happy Friday, Security Boss and Alan Q. Thank you. Thank you. That's where we are. We're in a male space and we are entrepreneurs or presently or previously. And that's my business too. I like to talk about it. But seeing that I work with so many men, it always ended up being about the men. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So no matter what, even if we started out with business, a job, a profession, a leadership position, or whatever, it always ended up with how are you mentally? Basically what it was. What's motivating you? Are you being motivated? If not, it always ends up there. So even though you may not want to go towards relationship, being that you're a woman that men receive, you're going to talk about relationships.
You're going to talk about it some way, somehow. No, I get that.
It ends up not necessarily so much as relationship as being man with woman. It's just their way of thinking, their intellect, how they feel, what they want, and they just bring you in. It's almost like they don't have a woman nowhere that they can
talk to.
Nowhere. And when they find one that they can talk to, it's like she's listening. And they just go.
They just go and go. And it's the stories they tell us, especially on the late lives. I'm like, oh my gosh, these stories. I'm like, you guys not have friends to talk to, tell us about, but they just can go on and go on. I don't think that, and that's why I say men being vulnerable, it's having that person that can create that space for them to be vulnerable, right? For them to not get judged or to get a lashback if they just need to just vent to somebody regarding, you know what, my day is stressful, job, this and that. So it's crazy what I hear on the YouTube streets.
It get now. YouTube is YouTube, but in the real world, it gets worse. Not I'm gonna say worse. I'm gonna say better because they really do. If they find that one person that they can just, I don't know, they just let it go. They can tell you so much, and you be like, oh my God, I used to know. And I think what happens is men put too much pressure on men. And they can't, if they're too vulnerable, they're laughed at or or made fun of, or you can't let no woman know that, or they're kind of beat up about their true feelings. So I think a lot of that doesn't work, but I can promise you once they get around a woman that they think is really truly listening and cares.
I said that because I think we talked about it one of the first shows on Lapeef Network, and we just talked about it last week. And then you hear all this, man, don't be vulnerable to a woman. She's gonna use it against her. Don't open up to a woman. I'm like, women. There are women out there that love a man that can express themselves and be open, because that's a way I connect. I'm an empath. That's a way I will connect to a man and be like, you know what? Okay, let me hear him out. Yes, there are women that will use it against you. You're right, but that's not all women. Like, don't make it seem if you're vulnerable, you're a simp or you're a sissy, because that's what men say. If you open up to women, you're a sissy, you're a girly. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, who wants to hear that? As a significant partner, a spouse, of course you want your partner to open up to you. Like, I hate hearing that. That's crazy how men think like that. But that's
listen here. Simi says the women make fun of our hardships more than other men do. Let me say this. It may be the woman that you're involved with that may really truly use it on you. But if you're going into an environment where a woman is just truly listening to you and y'all don't have any ties and she don't know you, you don't have that fear. I think that's why they are more open, because they don't know me. They just know I'm a woman. They don't even know that this business, I'm a co-owner of this business. They just know I'm a person that they're interviewing with. I'm a Black woman, and I just asked the right question. And if you ask that right question, it is on. So that's how it goes. So, and I know that there are some women that do things like that, and that's awful that they do. But again, you have to be careful, men, of who you allow in your life. That's all I can say about that. And you do have to, I hate to use the word, but you do have to vet your partners. This is true. Listen, that's the first line of disrespect right there. That's the first line of disrespect. So listen, guys. TR Baby says, listen to me. I got something to say. Hear me out. Let me tell you something. Listen, I'm listening, TR Baby. What is it? What do you want to say? You got a million emojis right there. And I don't know what those emojis mean. So pretty soon you're going to be camming up. You never cam up. I'm going to have you cam up and tell me exactly what you're saying. Here we go. Aaron says, my hubby doesn't open up to anyone but his sisters and me. He says men don't talk like women do. Men don't talk like women do. Okay. That's interesting, because I would think it would be men don't listen like women do.
That's definitely true too.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. But it's interesting that he opens up to his sisters. Wow. So me, I've been married a long time. My husband only opens up to me.
That's good.
He's found that one he can trust, and the same for me. Some of y'all boys clown you harder than these women. Yep, they do. Men are hard on men. Very hard on me in all environments, even with the Christian environments, even at the strip club, even at the bar, whatever it is, that even at the barbershop, they're harder. So I can understand why men would love to have a woman to talk to that no ties. So anyway, that was good. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we get into this topic?
No, ma'am. Nope.
Okay. So listen, we're talking about disrespect. Can you right now, just off the top of your head, tell me what disrespect means to you?
Oh, disrespect. Because I was looking up the meaning of disrespect earlier, and I was actually looking respectful. So, because I like to think of the positive things first, right? So disrespect is crossing someone, in my eyes, crossing someone's boundaries. Being negative. It's hard. Yeah, it's just being negative, crossing someone's boundary out of your nature. I feel it can mean different things in different aspects, I feel.
Okay. So I did the same thing that you did. And what I got was it's a lack of courtesy, insulting, actually, and hostile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with that being said, I was watching the Lapeef show last night,
Ooh, child.
and there was always a moment that boy always does something to me, but I want to know how it impacted you, because I see things maybe that everybody doesn't pick up on. But it was that Rick Judah guy.
Oh, see, I was quiet the whole time. I mean,
I know.
once you're on this show, right, you have to realize that if a man or a woman says something, if it don't always be triggered. I think there's only one person that gets me triggered on this YouTube, right? Because he starts lies with me. But
JP.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. But I feel like you can't. He does like me. It's crazy. Like, you coming for me, but you like me. You've said on the platform multiple times you like me. But beyond the point, Rick Judah, I've been on the platforms with him a couple of times, but I feel like as women, we can't just lead with emotion. Like, he might say something, let him say what he has to say, right? And don't feel so personally attacked, right? That's why sometimes I sit there, I'll be in the chats trolling. Like, I'm not going to take what he says to heart or sensitive, because I know he's not talking about me. Right.
So was he being disrespectful or not?
No, he was not. In my eyes, he was not being disrespectful at all.
Not one time.
I don't know what triggered the ladies to feel disrespected. But then again, like, me and Anton has had this conversation. Like me, I grew up with a hard shell. Like, I mean, I was in sports, so having a coach yell, I have a hard shell, so I'm not sensitive to certain things, right? So I don't know what he said that triggered the ladies, but it's not the first time they're triggered. But I was like, he didn't say nothing disrespectful. He didn't call you guys out your names. So I don't know how it went left, because I was like, maybe I need to go back, because I don't, but it happens on the show. They get one thing just triggers them, something about black talk or something about HBCUs, and then just goes left. So that's the nature of the show. But I don't know what happened. Did you feel like it was disrespectful?
Absolutely not. What I felt like it was the truth. And that was my next question. Do you feel, well, obviously truth is now, or can be now, considered disrespectful? And now I think that was actually my poll question. The truth is now considered disrespectful, because what the young man was saying initially was the order of Christ. It really was. It's the order, God over man and man over woman. It has nothing to do with superiority. We all are equal in humanity. We all were made equally, but our positions in life are not
different. We're not equal to men. I think one of the ladies asked, do you think men are superior to women? And he said no, and she felt away. Men are superior to women.
He said yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah, but
that part he was wrong on.
You don't think men are superior to women?
Not as in superior as in the way God made us. Their role, though, is of authority.
Okay.
And I have to think those are two different things.
Gotcha. Okay.
But this is what saves me, though, from all of this extra. If I'm somewhere walking down the street, exercising or what have you, and a pit bull get loose and the mailman is a man, I need him to take care of that pit bull.
Facts.
So
I hate dogs.
Prior, I said, hello, mailman, how are you? You need some water?
You get this dog?
Listen, I showed him all kind of kindness and respect for delivering my mail and for being a man that's willing to get that pit bull when he ran out trying to get me.
Exactly. There are security, and it's just I don't know why they got triggered.
I think that's all men. Listen. I mean, I may be different, but I don't think you need to look a certain way for me to be kind to you and respectable to you. You can be the bum that needs some food or that needs some money. I'm not going to give you the food and money. I may tell you somewhere that you can go that I've given to prior, but I'm still smiling and say, hello, sir, how are you?
Treat them equal.
If the other homeless person or the homeless woman come at me with a knife, I'm still want this man.
Protect me.
I am not going, I don't know why that's such a hard concept.
I think I heard it the other day. They say, I feel like respect is given until otherwise, until they prove you wrong. For me, I'm going to respect you. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be courteous. But people say respect has to be earned. I'm going to be nice and cordial to everyone, no matter what color, no matter what race, no matter what size you are, until you show me by actions or words. And that's just how I was raised, because, like, even if for example, even if I go in the islands, if we go into a gas station, if we don't say good afternoon or good evening, that's disrespectful.
Good. It surely is, because we used to say it like this. You came into my home, wherever I'm at. If I'm in that space first and you come in, you're saying hello. That's just that's a respect. But let's go back to it. When we say respect is given, if respect is courtesy, okay, we're going to be courteous. What is there to give? What more is there? I'm courteous by saying hello. I'm courteous by smiling. I'm not courteous. It was a Instagram, I think, video or something, where a young man ran out and gave a woman her driver's license because she left it on the counter. Do you know what I'm talking about? And when he ran up to her car and gave it to her, she basically treated him like he was a piece of trash.
I didn't see that
thing. She ended up having 5 kids, and he was like, I just wanted to bring you your driver's license, and what about a date? He was still hitting on it because he doesn't know this until they got into the conversation. But she treated him like he was a piece of trash. And I just couldn't believe that she was doing this. And initially, his act was kindness, just to bring her
the license
that she left. And she treated them like trash. So I'm thinking, okay, so if respect is one that has to be given, who's the giver? Why I can't be first? Why does the man have to be first? And how does he show it? Again, I say, if the dog comes running out, I need a man or something. I might have my gun with me, but say I don't. I need a man to want to protect and feel responsible for taking care of that situation just because I'm a woman. That's it.
No, that's definitely right. It's different nowadays. People don't have that respect. I think it's because how they were raised, honestly. And I could see the difference, because prime example, my brother, my parents would cook and everything. Back then, my brother would bring his girlfriends over, and they would come in the house, not say anything, eat my mother's food, and go upstairs. And that just used to blow my mind, right? Like, that's disrespectful, but that's kind of common here. Like, walking to, I mean, not common. I don't see a lot of people going into places.
I'm not saying no to you. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying no. I'm stopping you right at the front door before that fork gets into that food. I'm saying to you, let me just say something to you. I know you don't mean any harm, but this is not the proper way to visit your boyfriend's mother and dad's house. See, that's a lack of respect for elder. You don't know how to conduct yourself. And okay, so from this point, if respect is something that's gained, or what is your mom and dad supposed to do? Are they supposed to say, you're not eating here today because you didn't say hello when you came in the house and you didn't buy the food? What is the that we got a problem.
My parents are too nice. They're like, no, let it go. I'm like, no, that's disrespectful. Like, that's definitely disrespectful.
There's no courtesy in that.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. And that's what I'm saying. That's my point I was trying to make about Rick Judah. I understand that you all are on a panel, and I understand that he gets caught up sometime in what he's saying, and he gets a little triggered himself. But the principle that he was trying to deliver is absolutely right. And it's just how it is. I didn't make it that way. Men were built a certain way. Men were given a certain amount of authority. They were here first. They have dominion over everything. It takes nothing away from me, though.
Sometimes I think if you would have said the same thing he said, they wouldn't have been triggered.
I don't know, because, that word, superiority was added, and then submission was added. Now we're talking different then. I'm submitting to my husband. I'm not submitting to the homeless man. I'm just being courteous to the homeless man.
Exactly, be nice.
Yeah, I'm just being nice. I'm not, the homeless man is not superior. My husband in humanity is equal. God made us, equal in that aspect, but we have different roles here in this world. In marriage, we have different roles. We show up totally different. I'm not going to take care of a man. If a man is getting attacked by a dog, I'm planning to blow a whistle because I can't do anything.
I'm jumping on the first car I see.
What are you talking about? And I might run into anybody's house if the doors are locked,
I'm terrified of dogs,
Right. So why can't we see it for what it really is? It's not, it's not because they have penises. It's not like that. That's not what it is. It's just a humanity. It's just the way it was. And we have, so that makes me, because I always fight when men tell me, security balls, women want to be our equal. Women want to do what we do. They always tell me this. And I'll be like, no, that's not true. You need to stop saying that. I fight it every time I hear it. But when I hear women say what they say, I'm like,
it's true.
Okay, tell me more.
It's true. They want to be equal. Like some of the stuff they want to do. I'm like, you guys want to be treated like men? Like, why? Why would you want to do that? I'm confused. That's not how roles are. I don't know how they were raised in the parent household. Like, stuff's not equal. Like my parents, stuff's not equal.
No. And I don't want that. They get real. But last night I saw some real offense, to the point, name calling a little bit, a little penis measuring, but I don't have one to measure. So what are we talking about here? Why are we speaking like this? So, and you were very silent and I picked up on it and I'm thinking to myself, are we going to let this? Okay. Ain't nobody going to say nothing, And then of course, Mr. Logic
with his ghetto mask. He's so ghetto.
Oh, he's beyond ghetto.
I don't know what's above ghetto. I don't know what word is above ghetto, but I'm
not going to even tell you what I call them. But anyway, let's read Erin Nicole's super chat. She says, "Thank you, Erin Nicole, for your super chat, $4.99. Proud of being submissive to my Franco, Mr. Franco. I'm telling you,
Ooh.
Absolutely love being a woman. Absolutely love it. So listen." Listen, John Jones said, "Kayla, a man, low key."
I mean, the way she was talking last night, I was like, wait a minute.
She said she got a little strong, right?
Not a little.
Well,
not a little. But
I don't know. I don't know what she was. I think it may be him. You think it may be him? Judah?
No, I don't think it's him. Because we've seen it on the show a couple times. It's not only Rick Judah. We've seen it with a couple panelists came on. Who's that other one? Bolo. Like we've seen it a couple times. Yeah.
She spoke like that to Bolo?
Bolo came on, and then when he left, like he was going in on her, and then she went black screen and came back. I mean, we've seen her go back and forth with Logic. We've seen her go back and forth with Anton. So it's not just Rick Judah. It's not just Rick Judah.
Wow. I didn't know that. I've only seen her. I mean, I see her go back and forth, but we're talking about this was a wrong issue. You get what I'm saying? It was wrong. We shouldn't have been going back and forth
with that topic. Yeah.
That was nothing to go back and forth with. It's not like that on JB's or Amira's show. Okay. But that was a wrong topic to go back and forth with. I understand her trying to get her point across. I don't mind that. But when you're talking about the order of man and woman, I mean, it's like, okay, why are we arguing with this? This man is right, and she gets to say that if he was in Home Depot, she thinks she can handle herself. And I'm thinking,
not handle.
Myself, oh my God.
And that was a topic before last week. When a woman says, I need a man that can handle me, what does that mean? So I was like, see, Kayla's one of that type. See, I need a man that can handle me. I said that before.
I don't know. For me, that's a real scary place because you're not taking it serious. See, I take everything very, very serious, especially what I say, because the things that you don't think can happen, those may be the thing. Yeah.
You never know what can happen.
Never know. And when you're not prepared for it, or you've conducted yourself in a way, I don't know. That's a scary place. So men, we love you all. We're here for you. And whatever it is, we want that cover and we definitely want that protection. So
Yes. Prime example, one of the shows we talked about being respectful just to whoever we see on the streets or whatever. Because
right.
there's been stories how we've read that if you're not courteous or nice, a man can do something violent to you, right? Like they've thrown acid on women walking the street of just saying no, thank you. There's a story in New York, or a man has hit a woman because he got denied. So we brought that up. I was like, well, you need to just be nice in general. Like, we're not saying you're flirting or you want him. Just be respectful. And then we brought that up in the show, and then they're like, no, I'm not going to respect every man. Every man doesn't deserve respect. And I'm like, but do you want to be that case where you're walking in the street? Who is going to protect you if you're not respectful? If a man comes up to you and you say, no, thank you, or you just have an attitude and you say, nah, you ugly. Like, that's disrespectful. How would you feel if a man returned and he did something to you? Respect is just given naturally. Like, you should just respect people. But then it just went left, and now you condoning domestic violence. Like, anytime we bring up a topic, it just goes left, and it goes to the far left of what the question was. So I do believe respect should just be just given, even if it's, hey, someone you're not interested in, or right, someone you're just being cordial. But then again, I mean, everybody's different. They don't see that.
It could be a simple thing as a smile and hey, I'm trying to catch this bus, or I got to meet someone at the Starbucks, and just walk off fast. But you did smile and you said hello. It wasn't a mean bug and why you trying to talk to me? It was none of that.
Exactly.
It was, but I heard a young lady say the other day though that why I got to smile. She said, why do I have to smile? I should be able to mean mug if I want to. So I'm beginning to think that we got a real big problem, and I'm understanding men now, because I just didn't know that women chose to show up like that. I thought it was if you made it another day, you look decent, you got a job, you're living, there was something to smile about. Like,
even if you gotta fake it, even if you're going through a bad day, fake it. I'm just aware of what goes on out in the real world, and you never know what's going on with society. Like, you don't know what the other person might be going through. It can take one thing that you might do in a negative way to trigger that person to where they might do something to you. It takes a second to smile. You got time to be on social media, smile.
And you don't know what triggers people, though. That's the thing. You don't know what people look. What if a man, hello, sir, Hell, how are you? What if you don't know a man's triggers or something that his mom did, and he smiles at you and you say the N word, and she maybe called him the N word all his life. And that could have been the day that he just let it go
and hit you, or called him the B word. Or, because that was a thing too. I hate when women use the B word. That just annoys me. Like, boys, men and women. Like, I hate that when women use that B word, even if it's a friendly way. But women, like, we talked about that too. Like, no, I can use it in a friendly way, but you don't like when men call you that. Why are you using that word? Like, I don't know what makes it friendly. I'm not friendly. See, that's a form of disrespect. It is.
But if Rick Judah came in there and called him, you bees, what's up? They wouldn't think that was nice. Or if Logic did it.
They don't even like when Logic says the N-word to them. Call them the N-word.
Well, like, Logic does throw around the N-word a whole lot.
He does. That's in every other sentence he uses the N-word.
We need to talk to him about that. He does just a lot.
We've talked to him. He says
whatever. He can find another way to express himself. Yeah, he can. Because all it does is breed that negative energy, and they act worse because he's coming with that energy, and they don't understand that Logic is this being Logic or whatever. So the energy is up a notch when he does that. And so now he called him the N-word.
Yep, he did. He almost said the B word last night. I don't know who he was talking. I think I be listening. Like, even though I be in the chats, I be listening. He's like, and then it phased out. Now I heard it. It was about to slip. He
said, y'all think this is an effing joke. And I was like, wait a minute. He got everybody's attention, right? So I was like, this went to the left. Hey guys, when you're coming into live, make sure you're giving us a thumbs up, and we definitely appreciate you being here. And listen, we are dropping the link in the chat, so you definitely can cam up and come and tell us what you think about disrespect, because I'm beginning to think everything under the sun is disrespect. Now we're two ladies here, not just women, we're ladies. And Q here is looking for a spouse. We're gonna take some referrals. We're gonna get her married, and she's gonna be on this side.
Yes.
Deal with this foolishness out in the streets. But until she get there, note that she's a lady, and we advocate for men, and we advocate for the things that ladies do, and we always want to be treated like that. But now we're trying to figure out why our counterparts sometimes just losing their mind. So men and ladies, whomever, we want you all to cam up and want to hear what you think about this, because nowadays everything is becoming disrespectful. So I want to hear what you all have to say. And if you have any questions for us, please do come up and ask. It says, Cars says, it took me decades to develop the grumpy cat face. It took you a decade. Listen, you don't want that. Q is a perfect model for how to act ladylike and be about her business. I know.
Thank you. You know what else? I was just thinking about it. Tone.
Okay.
We've talked about this on the show. I think tone and wordage matter, right? There's a way to say something. As women, we can sometimes be emotional, right? There's a way to communicate to a person, to a man, and even get and I've told this to the K's, right? You can get your point across, right? But you can still be respectful. Like the cutting off, the tone, it can be perceived certain ways, right? So I think
it's very condescending.
Exactly. I say tone matters. People think tone definitely matters. Communication styles, listening to understand definitely matters. So I think tone does play a part, because I would get like, oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. It's two difference. You see two difference in, maybe because I've been in sales and maybe I know how to speak to different party of people, but tone definitely matters when communicating with people. So I think that takes a play into being disrespectful also.
So let me ask you a question. Is the condescending tone used for everyone or just men?
It's both parties. Okay. Both parties.
Okay. Well, I can almost accept it from both parties if that's just our delivery. I can almost accept that. I can say this is a condescending person. That's her personality. I can almost accept that. But if you're saying, if you would have said, but you didn't, this is mostly for men, then I would think, okay, well, we got an issue here. What's going on?
Yeah. Okay.
But if it's just a condescending person, which, then that's just who they are. That could be immaturity. That could be being spoiled, selfish. It was something else too that I picked up on that I need to ask, not necessarily you, but I just wanted to know about. I asked myself this question. I've noticed if a person is saying something and I don't agree with it, I can talk over you. Just because I don't agree with it. Is that a reason? That's a form of disrespect, but
that's disrespectful.
Yes. Is it disrespectful because I don't agree with it, or is it disrespectful because we're talking over each other?
It's disrespectful because you're cutting them off.
Okay.
Like let them have it's 8 people on the panel. You might disagree. I might not disagree, or Mary might not disagree. Over talking and cutting off, which I've said on the platform, that's disrespectful. But they said that's not disrespectful, which it is. Let them say what they got to say, because even though you might not want to hear it, Bob might want to hear it, right? I've disagreed with the men on panels a couple of times.
You should.
Okay, I've done that. People don't see it, but I've done that. The thing is, I don't try to put my point down their throat or cut them off. Let them say what they have to say. And then, okay, no, Anton, I disagree. No, I don't. That's not what I see. X, Y, and Z. And I let it go. But I mean, the cutting off and the over talking, I'm like, let them say what they have to say. Disagreeing is not disrespectful at all. Everybody's going to have their own viewpoint. That's what I
want to talk about. Is it not disagreeing? For you not to, okay, so if I said Q said something and I maybe didn't say it exactly the way Q said it, am I disrespecting you?
No, not at all. To me, no.
Right. So that's the beginning of it right there. Because I've noticed sometimes because the way we hear things is the way we hear things. You may say something and it lands on me a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it back to you exactly how I heard it, even though it may not be the way that you said it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm saying it back to you and it wasn't the same way, I just want to make sure, because see, that's my truth. Am I disrespecting you because I'm saying it this way?
No, you're not disrespecting me. That's how a conversation happens. That's why on the show, I do ask a lot of questions. Like even in the late lives, I ask a lot of questions because I might perceive something different than how you're actually voicing it.
Right.
So I want clarification. So that's a conversation. If you're saying one thing, but that's not how because sometimes how I say stuff, I mean it totally different, just like
Right.
how I text. And I definitely know that about myself. So that's why I ask questions so I can get a better understanding of where your mindset is. But that's communication, the back and forth. I'm not cutting you off in the process. We're having that communication and be like, you know what? I didn't mean it that way. I meant it this way. Okay, security boss, you're right. You're right. I did mean it that way, but you're definitely right. It's just the communication. Like, I mean, we learned that in college, communication 101.
Yeah. But you know what? So and then you can beat me over the head with this. I don't even think the cutting off would be that bad if there was respect in the cutting off. Like, because I mean, you may be saying something, it might chime in my mind, but like, oh, you're right. This is I just cut you off, but it wasn't to disrespect you. It was just to say, girl, I can't believe you said that. I agree with you. And you understand that. And we're going on with the conversation and everybody's happy. I think it goes to the condescending, the attitudes and the constant nonstop.
That's right. So you're right on that point. So you agreeing or having that flowing conversation, that's correct. But if you're in a midpoint sentence and you're like, no, you're wrong. No, I think this isn't that. Wait, he didn't even get to finish his point though. How do you know he's wrong? You didn't let him finish. We didn't even get to hear what he had to say. So that's what I feel like it's crossing the lines. But some people don't,
I don't know. I don't know how they wouldn't, but that's not courteous. I'm going with respect being courteous, total courteous. I can be wrong all day, every day. If my delivery is courteous, let me be wrong. And then once I'm done, you're free to correct me. And exactly. I can hear everything you say. And I'll be like, thumbs up. I'm glad you said that because I didn't know. I mean, we're talking about being a media virtual world right now where everything is done over the internet. And, that's not how I grew up. So I could be wrong a lot of times. And just like you said, when we say things, the way we put emphasis on words, it changes the meaning. Mm-hmm. Allow me to hear me the way I want to say it before you cut me off. And I think it would be great, if we wouldn't have a disrespectful conversation just because we disagree. So Mr. Awesome says, look at King Talk. It's the stark opposite. Even when the men cut each other off, they all give courtesy almost to an extreme. It's baffling how different it is. It is. You're right. It is. You know what? And that's true. I was watching King Talk the other day, but I also had now on King Talk, I noticed a different kind of disrespect. And, everybody may not agree with that. I was watching King. I was not watching. I was on my way home from Atlanta on Sunday and I was listening to King Talk. And it was an incident where there was a younger man and KS. He called in and he talked about the image and them wearing suits and things of that nature. And it became a big deal and what have you. The young man was Sway in the morning, Sway something. Sway was very kind. He spoke very nice. He wasn't disrespectful in his words or anything, but he was very triggered. And he was triggered at the point where he was only 23 years old. And he felt triggered because he felt like Kevin Samuels misinterpreted what he said. And I'm here to tell you this. When a person that's an elder, and Kevin was, misinterprets something or hears something different from what you're putting out there, the thing to do, because he is an elder, is just to listen and receive it, because he's a man talking to another man. You are a man. And his response was something like, basically, I don't care because none of y'all pays my bills.
That's what he said?
Yeah. And I felt like that was the most ridiculous thing to say because you're a man.
That shows his age.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, Sway, you didn't have to say that because we respect you as a man. We're not gonna pay your bills. We're not gonna pay your bills. And I don't think he understood that. And I was like, he was really winning because he was standing on the square. And his whatever the difference in times was okay. But he said, don't nobody pay my bills. I thought woman. Woman. Yeah, I was like, that's something a woman, that's a comeback for a woman. And
women actually do say that though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Ooh. And who is this? Aaron.
Came up, Aaron.
Aaron, that's not what happened. Aaron, you're gonna have to come up and tell me because I was listening and I didn't get into the gist of the conversation. But when an elder tells you something, whether you agree or disagree,
be respectful.
You just accept it because it's a man talking to another man. Maybe you got to go think about it. But I did hear him say something about paying his bills. If it wasn't him, maybe I mixed up the voices because, again, I wasn't watching. I was listening. But it sounded like Sway saying, you took my words and changed them around. And it doesn't really matter because none of y'all pay my bills. Now, I'm just paraphrasing. But, Aaron, you're a better listener than I. So I would love for you to come up and tell me how I got it wrong. But I'm not saying Kevin Samuels was right about anything. There was a stark difference, but he had something to offer the young man, and they were still two men talking. It wasn't like I was trying to tell the young man something. And Scam, like I said, I disagree. You can come up too. You know what? I ain't seen you in a while. Y'all, the link is in the chat. Come on up and tell me, straighten me out. But either way, a man doesn't have to tell another man that he's paying his bills.
Yeah, that's a girly move.
Whether y'all take it, because I don't think Kevin Samuels needed to show the young man any respect because he was talking to him about something. So he may have heard what the young man said incorrectly, but still, I didn't think Sway needed to come back with that the paying of the bills comment. But y'all can correct me. I'm telling you what I thought I heard. But again, I wasn't looking, so I may have the people incorrect. But I would love for y'all to straighten me out about it.
Definitely. Came up, Aaron.
Yeah, came up, Aaron.
And Scam likely.
Aaron. So anyway, that's disrespectful, lady.
No, that's funny.
That was disrespectful.
Nah, Aaron wouldn't be disrespected by that.
I know, I was just kidding. But anyway, but listen, that is okay. Scam like I said, give him a few minutes because he's in Walmart.
Lord, not Walmart.
But anyway, the link is in the chat. But for me, that was another disrespectful thing that happened because I just don't think that we always have to talk. Sometimes we can disagree with a message and it be okay. We don't have to accept it, especially when it's coming from the same, woman to woman. Like me, if I was talking to an elder and she had something to tell me, I may not agree with her, but why am I going back and forth with an older woman that has lived more life than I have? It may be something I don't. Oh, he did say that. Okay. Anyway, he may, that woman may have lived more life than I have. And I maybe just haven't experienced what she's experiencing. I had experience, so I can still hear her. Now, I may be more apt to go from a younger woman, be like, young lady, you don't know what you're talking about right now. You just need to live more life. But when two men are talking, it should always be considered a certain amount of wisdom coming from them, unless he was just totally lying or something like that, and he wasn't. But again, that was a young man that has to grow up, and you know how men fight to be men. But now, this day and age needs to know it's okay to just listen to what people are saying. Aaron.
Marion, I need you to get a curtain. I sent you money for a curtain.
No.
He might need more than one. Are there two windows behind you and we just see one? Is that what's going on?
There's like three windows.
Okay,
like,
I'll send you more money then.
You gotta make it work.
I already sent him money for that back window. That's all we can see.
You get on my nerves.
For all of them. Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Aaron, you gonna straighten me out on the disrespect? I could have been wrong. I wasn't.
No, I don't do no straightening out. I'm just here because I was actually watching that part because I don't like to always cam up on everybody's platform because then I get a little more repetitive. I like to try to add value when I can. So that's why I kind of pass on a lot of people. I just watch people go in there. A lot of guys just repeat the same thing and it is exhausting. But in that particular situation, although I do, because Sway's my man, although I do agree with KS in the long run, right? Because I understood the moment and I understand what he was attempting to do.
Right.
So, but in that moment, Sway felt as if when he wanted to respond, they dismissed him.
Right.
And then he went to try to respond again and he was dismissed. And
Right.
at that moment, he's like, hold on, I'm a man too. What you? And that's where he blurted that out. Well, y'all don't pay my bills. Well, and you know, that's true. That just show his, although I wouldn't have done that. We could have been around the same age. So I don't think it's an age thing. I think that was more of like a maturation thing, right? So it's not so much based on age. It's literally just where his maturity level was at that time. And he wasn't able to control his emotions and blurt that out. So I personally think he was wrong for saying that. Now, when y'all say that's something women say, y'all have to understand. I heard no, and she seconded.
No, that's true. I've only heard women say that.
And see, and look, and see, when you say that about a young man, and then you come behind and say that, you know, it's like how you think that sounds.
I'm gonna tell you how it sounds. Hold on, Aaron. We have a super chat from Samuel Barr, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies. Don't know if I'm too old, but King Sam knows how to care for and love on some Island Q. Putting my hat in the all right, you get the money line song, Samuel.
Hey.
Money line.
I love that song.
I know.
Hey.
Listen, Aaron, let me clear it up a little bit because I don't think we hear it exactly correct the way I'm trying to say it. That came from a very emotional place. And normally we associate that emotional reaction to women. That's what I'm saying. I think Sway handled himself very well. I think he articulated his position very well, but I think he should have not wanted to respond once the KS told him exactly what he needed to know, only because it was man to man.
No, correct. I agree with you. He was wrong to respond that way.
Yeah.
I agree with you. He was wrong to respond that way. I just wouldn't add it. I only hear women say, because let's be like, men are emotional as well, right? They're just not supposed to respond emotionally, right? Men have emotions. So I agree with that aspect. I just, you know, when you hear it, that's something a girl would do or a woman would do, and we talking about a man. I just, unless you're gonna kind of like tell him that directly to him, I just think that because he could take it the wrong way, right? Because he'll be sitting there, because he could be sitting here listening in the back. I'm just saying he could take it the wrong way. You know how you look cute. You know how when you say something about that, what's the name, and you don't even mean about it. Exactly. Right?
He likes me though. That's a difference.
Well, look, everybody like you. I ain't met nobody.
No, he likes me.
Again, if Sway, if you're listening, you can definitely come up. What I'm saying is that it's growing pains. We learn from the things that we do that we shouldn't do. And when your elder spoke to you, it would have been best just to receive it as a man and not add that tidbit there. That tidbit was an emotional reaction that Q seems to think only happens with women. I said it sounds like a woman. So you don't want to be that way. You don't want to have that, you were standing on your square. I agreed with you. Yeah. So I agree with you. Well, I got a super chat here though. Hold on. Mr. Awesome. Thank you for your $5 super chat. KS put words in that young man's mouth and then continued to berate him about things he never said. Young men get spoken to like we rode the short bus. Mr. Awesome. Nobody said that's not true. Well, listen, I didn't hear that part about him putting things in his mouth, but I think Sway did an awesome job until that moment. And for me, that was him having the fact he had already, in my opinion, stated his case. Sway. He had stated his case. It wasn't anything more for him to say. Obviously, there was a difference in opinion, or whatever Kevin Samuels heard from him, he perceived it differently. See, we always have to win. And that's the part that got him. He needed to win. And I'm saying you don't have to win against a man that's double your age.
You are correct. You're 100% correct. And I'm with you. I'm with you on that. The thing, of course, I think he should have handled it a different way. I heard what Kevin Samuels was saying. I knew exactly what Kevin was trying to. He was talking through him. He wasn't even no longer focused on the point, but Sway couldn't understand that in the moment because he felt attacked. He like, hold on, you misrepresent. I 100% knew exactly what Kevin was talking about as far as young men being resistant to the way things have been done prior, when it was considered, probably a better time how young men conduct themselves. Because I do agree, I'd be shocked to see 100 young men standing around each other in a loving, endearing environment. It's extremely rare. But if you look back in the day, that was a normal occasion to be in suits. That was the normal wear. Like, you could see thousands of men around each other. It was not a violent thing. It's no longer exists that way. So I totally understand the history of it, and I caught the moment. He wasn't going to be able to. It would have been better if he would have just said absolutely nothing. Like, I agree with you, and said absolutely nothing, because it's funny that people want to try to say Kevin Samuels is wrong because he wasn't listening to the young man. No, people have a hard time respecting their elders. And I'm not saying Sway didn't respect him, but people do have a hard time respecting their elders. Like, I absolutely know, okay, there's a certain way to respond. You guys were talking about earlier, like, as far as tone, right? There's actually a way to respond and say, you know what? I actually wasn't thinking about it that way.
Absolutely.
Just saying that one phrase can change the whole moment. So, yeah.
Right. But not only that, Sway wasn't wrong. He had his own opinion about how he has to live his life. He never said he didn't have suits. I didn't hear him say that. So he was right. He didn't have to. He felt like he needed to clarify himself because he felt like whatever Kevin was saying was totally directed towards him. And I didn't think that. It was just the environment. But Mr. Awesome, we have a link there. You are a young man. I would love for you to come up and tell us what you think also. But listen, I just think that Sway, that's the problem we're having. See, he saw that as a personal attack and a amount of disrespect. And he went, I think Sway or it might have been somebody else says respect is, you have to give respect to get respect. And that's not how it goes. As men, you all respect each other automatically. You're supposed to. Just automatically. I automatically expect, Aaron, I respect you. Q, I respect you. When I see you on the street, I'm going to smile and say hello. Why wouldn't I? Mm-hmm. It's an automatic thing. I don't have to do anything to get that. You don't have to do anything to get that. That's just who I am. And we don't need to take things in personally when somebody says something to us. And see, that's what I'm saying. We have gotten so sensitive to whatever correction or whatever somebody says to us. We wear everything. We don't have to wear everything. Mm-hmm. There's men out here all the time calling women B's and I'm not a B and I'm not an H. I don't care. I'm like, really? Is that what they do?
Don't feel away. Don't be sensitive to it.
It doesn't affect me at all. Or when men are are saying, because they don't be like, oh, everybody but you security boss. They say it as one brush, just all of us together. Women ain't, I'm like, oh, really? They're not, it doesn't bother me that way. And I just wished that Sway didn't allow it to get into him because he was doing fine. He said exactly how he felt. He actually covered a gamut of different areas of people who it affected. He did well. But when he said that, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, no, that was the part. He's an extremely bright young man, actually, and you're right. That was just that one moment where if he would have just held his composure.
That's all I wanted to do.
I'm with you. And he gonna learn from it. The hard part I think for men is Kevin Samuels has clout, right? And so for a man to hear another man that is deemed, depending on how you want to look at somebody with a lot of power and a lot of clout per se in the room, sometimes you feel like I'm a man too. It's like, just because you got a certain level of clout, it's like I ain't got to bow to you. And that sometimes be what the issue is, like not knowing that it's okay to bow out, not knowing that you don't actually.
That is definitely
it's
all in one.
Yeah, it's definitely ego. I personally don't have a big ego. I've always been aware and always try to challenge my own. Like, no, that's how I saw a lot of young people get, So I've always know better. It's not really worth that part. But I'm also always aware of the moment. Like I'm pretty much, for the most part, I'm pretty aware of the moment. And I'm just like, come on, it's KS coming through. You know exactly what he's here for. You are literally just somebody he's using to speak to the broader audience, brother.
That's it.
That's all it was. And it's just one of the moments. But like I said, I actually think that we should actually go back to wearing suits all the time. And I'm not saying Monday through Sunday. I'm just saying as more of a normal occasion, it should be more normalized, because I do think you're treated different.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to live a little to learn that. And he's only 23 years old.
No. This is the problem.
What?
This is the problem. Not with you, but this is the problem that Kevin Samuels took with it. It's the resistance to it. When I say it, you should just say, you know what, that's actually a good idea. But the problem is, well, maybe not Monday and Tuesday, but how about just Fridays and Saturdays? It was the resistance part that young people have, because I know I had never wore a tie before my first interview. I literally learned how to tie a tie. I had a guy teach me how to tie a tie on my way to an interview.
Right.
We didn't wear ties in the hood.
Right.
That like you deemed a certain way. Like, so I understood it, right? Once you wear a tie and you see the difference of how somebody treats you, you go, I don't see.
It's amazing. Not only a tie, what about a uniform? The difference. It's amazing. It's like night and day. They'll give you the world. But I don't know why that we don't accept that to be that way, but it's
because we don't want to conform. We don't, and the women will conform. Yeah, the young, especially black men, don't want to conform. It's conformity is the issue. They see a suit as a European dress wear. That's how they view it. And so they go ahead, Q.
Y'all conform in other ways, though.
No,
so that's the problem. But in other ways, y'all want to wear do-rags, wear saggy pants, but y'all would rather do that than that. I'm confused.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with conformity. I know better, but let's just think about it. You're right. Do-rags, sagging pants, like yes, because it's considered something that maybe we created that culture, and I don't want to say like that's the case, but think about it. You wouldn't necessarily see other cultures per se rocking do-rags and sagging pants. Like, it seems like that was not pushed on us as opposed to suits was pushed on us. So that's why the resistance is there. It's like, no, that's y'all look. We don't want that look. And I think what's up, black man? I think it's wrong, but I'm listen. If we could listen, suits every day, Monday through Friday, I'm with it. But the problem is we're gonna get resistance, and especially younger people are gonna say nah. That's what's gonna happen.
But that's where the older generation should come in and speak knowledge and let them know, hey,
they don't respect older people. Q. They listen. I'm telling you, as a young guy that has literally a lot of respect in general for people as a whole, but I understand that I need to be more respectful just to prove that young men can be respectful to older people. They don't respect older people. They just don't. Like the people that are the most considered useless to people are elders in society and homeless people. Like, those are the two people that are at the lower end of respect. Unless you truly understand the value of people, they just don't get the respect. They just don't.
That's true. And I wonder, I don't know why, but that's exactly that was a demonstration of a lack of respect that I felt like was so out of place, because you don't have to agree, and it doesn't even have to change your life. But what the man was saying was true. Your image and the way we're seen does get us into doors. It does change your life. It really, really does. Black man, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What do you want? I'm sorry. Can you say it again?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. What would you like to add to this conversation? You know what we're talking about, right?
Absolutely. It was too sensitive. So, my thing is this. Let me say this. When I had to, interject that. Let me say this. When we talking about sagging or whatever, I was told by my grandfather. He said, "Son, can you spell sagging backwards for me?" Y'all go ahead.
That's too hard.
Sagging backwards is niggas.
What?
Oh, in the end, it sure is. Oh, wow.
And so,
wow. Spell it correctly. You have to make it SAGGIN.
IN.
It can't be ing.
Right.
Yeah, I go
Sagging.
again.
How we pronounce it?
Sagging.
Yeah, it's
Sagging.
gotta be.
Ooh, without the D. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
And so, so we gotta. Aaron had to turn the camera off. So, I was just listening to you guys before I went on. I had to come show some love to Security Boss. So, guys, absolutely all the time. So, I do feel I'm listening to everything. I do feel like what you're saying is absolutely 100% correct, Aaron. You always take a beating for what you believe, but you stand 10 toes down. So, you're my guy. But I think that even earlier in the show, we were talking about just people being sensitive. Period. Like you said, Security Boss, somebody call you this, oh, you this, that. Why are you so offended? Why are you offended when someone else gets more attention than you get?
Oh, don't you do it.
Aaron O is on the show, Security Boss. He's talking good. I'm talking good. Why are you always saying, Aaron O, you better talk? Why is Aaron O getting all the attention? Why is Island Q getting the attention? I'm sitting over here. I've been over here for 20 minutes. You ain't telling me nothing. Being sensitive, want all the attention on you. And I think that's something you should go sit down and talk to a therapist about when you get that sensitive. I truly believe that. I think that, people use these platforms as a way to tell mama, I'm going to be on Unsolicited Security Boss. Look. And I don't get the attention. Then I'm mad at Unsolicited Security Boss, right? I'm mad at Island Q. You look at they just like Island Q because of her accent. Who she thinks she is, Rihanna or somebody?
Ooh.
Look at Security Boss up here with that haircut like that, looking like that. Girl, you seen that jacket she had on? She thinks she cute.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. That's what happens. Aaron O, time out, ain't no community. It's always that. You hear that in these YouTube streets. We hear it all the time. And it's starting to. Oh, there you go. That's what I needed, Mr. Boss. Because you hear it all the time. A lot of people are very, 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 very sensitive. I mean, back in the day, this was a non-factor.
It seemed like back in the day, we loved each other a little bit. We loved and cared about each other a little bit more to where if I said something about Aaron, you knew I was saying it so you could be better and present yourself as a better person. Hello, CJ. Hello, how are you? HL Grizzly, how are you? So it seems like back then we understood that I care about you. I want you to present yourself a different way. Now I think it's more of an outward theory that everything we do is for the opposite race.
You talking now? You talking?
What do you think about that? Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt to go work for Madea, but we'll put a suit on to work for Calvin. You see that? We're so complacent within each other in the community. That's why when you're at Walmart and you see the black young lady at Walmart, serving, and then the white lady's there, she said, "Would you like me to help you? Let me push that button for you. You hit this button right here. Okay, you got it. All right, I got you." And then you come up, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?"
Right. Anton is in the chat, y'all. He says, "See all my friends." Hey, Anton, how are you?
Amen, guys.
With y'all on the late night tonight recapping.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the show from last night also.
It's gonna be going down.
Did y'all watch the show? Aaron and Black Man, did y'all watch the show last night?
I watched, yes, and I can't wait because Anton and that damn damn it, come on now, I'm looking right at him.
Mr. Logic.
Yeah, Mr. Logic, man.
Mr. Ghetto.
I love Mr. Logic.
Of course y'all do.
Mr. Logic. Let me make that very clear. I love Mr. Logic. Love him.
He needs to change his name to Mr. Ghetto.
Logic is crazy, right?
Yeah,
crazy.
Logic
I love Mr. Logic.
I do. Logic crazy, bro.
Yeah, he brings it to him though, don't he? He really does.
He triggers them.
Yeah, he does trick them.
Yep.
But we
and especially when he get close to the camera, and start doing his hands like this. Oh, it's over.
No, you know why? Because people don't think the man that I gravitate towards intelligence, and I can see it in a lot of different ways.
Right.
And people just don't really know just how intelligent Mr. Logic is because he's silly.
Right.
So they don't see the intelligence for it. Like I always look through things, right? I'm looking through to see where I can glean. Okay. I hear that man speak. I'm listening deeper. I'm not like, and a lot of people don't really see. The man is brilliant. telling you.
No,
He's
you're
supposed to
right.
be very smart. I hear it and see it all the time.
Yeah,
He's a corn bean though, but he's very smart.
corn bean. Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
He's logic.
Make you laugh, but he's logic. Right. He got the right name.
If he toned the ghetto-ness down, I think people would hear him more.
Nah, he
Listen,
needed
that's who he is.
I
That's who
need
he
that.
is.
I need
He
that.
But it's
need it.
ingrained in him though. They ain't going nowhere.
I need it. I need it.
Listen, Robert H says I'm the smartest.
Okay, Robert.
Robert,
Came up. Let's test you.
listen, logic has to be that. That's who logic is. That's where he was born. See, if he lose that, then he won't be himself anymore. He'll be
Right.
just like the next guy. You know,
Right.
he got to be that way. He understands both sides is what he's trying to say.
You gotta be unique. You gotta be unique in your own way.
He's funny. I think he's very funny. So I think what it is though, we don't have any pride in our community, and everything we say, you know, and do is considered disrespectful just by almost everything. And there's no way that the elders, well, hopefully the elders can continue to speak to the younger people in love and just try to share with them. Look, I'm only trying to show you something. Because, you know, it's been done before. I heard somebody else say it's been done before. So we know it works. You know, it may have not been done in this particular generation that we're in now, but it's been done before. So it does work.
No, we're not going back.
They don't like to listen though, security boss.
Right. They're gonna think that's disrespectful.
We don't have to go back, but we can bring some of the things from back then that definitely worked.
It's not going to happen.
It's not. I don't think it's happening. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you briefly why it's not going to happen. The way that we like capitalism has gone through our society, it's removed community in a lot of ways, especially for the Black community. It's turned people into individuals. So now it's all about my family. It's no longer about the family. It's about my family. People don't know their neighbors no more. You got to understand this is normal. Like they don't know the three buildings down, like 3 houses down. They don't know those people. They don't know them anymore. It's not the same. I was born in the 80s, towards the tail end of the 80s, right? Where that means I have the last Big Mama, Big Daddy. That's the last of it. It don't exist no more. So those people that was born after me and whatnot, their grandparents are like 40s, late like so they're so young. It's babies having babies. So it no longer exists anymore, and so we're never going to have that structure anymore. Mm-hmm. You might can put it in your home, you know what I mean. But as far as the so-called community, I call it a population. It's gone. It's gone.
You have to be direct and stop patting things. They understand truth. But you know what, Anton, we said earlier, truth is disrespect now.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
Mm-hmm. They don't like to listen.
Yeah, security box. I was having a conversation about a show you did about talking about the ladies and how you treat your man and how you guys were, right? And as I'm talking, she was like, I say, "Would that something you would implement in your marriage?" That's her marriage. They ain't got nothing to do with me. She gonna do what she gonna do, and I'm gonna do what I do. I said, so explain to me what that looks like. I ain't nobody finna be doing all that bank account stuff together. Ain't nobody finna be doing all that. Oh, my man need this. Oh, my man, ain't nobody finna do all that. He is own man. I'm my own woman. I said, how your man feel about that? I don't have one yet. Oh, that's probably why.
Wow.
I'm gonna hold my tongue on this one. I'm gonna hold my tongue.
Really, beloved.
I agree with Aaron and them. You can tell the older women and men they're stuck in their ways. I mean, is especially on YouTube, you just see it. Like they're not gonna listen. Like especially to elders, they're not gonna listen. Look, last night when Rick is older than us. I don't know how old he is, but he didn't even get a chance to finish. Right. So you see,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's older, but he didn't just get a chance to finish. So I just feel I don't think it's going to get better, honestly, because kids are raising kids nowadays. Kids are having kids earlier.
Yeah, baby, grandmama 45, daughter 29, grandson 13.
Black man, you be having the mama at 8. And the child.
Hell, hey, I don't put
We're having babies at 9 and 10.
Hold on, Black man.
Wait a minute. Did you say you can have a baby at 9?
Yes, yes. I saw a story where the kid had babies at 9. Kids are having babies in middle school. I'm like, in middle school? was
9 and 10-year-old babies, 9 and 10-year-old girls having babies.
You can
ridiculous.
really have a baby at 9 and 10.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
listen, I had a show. Candid Ann was on my platform, and she said it. She said, she's a nurse. She said, I used to work that ward. In that ward, I have delivered babies with girls that were 9, 10, 11, and 12 years old.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I probably said this before. Y'all probably have heard it. It's not so much that it's the age thing, because you got to think about it. It was normal for you to get married at 18. Like teenager is a made up concept. It's made up. It's something that we created later on down the line to allow people to waste their life and coddle them and not grow up. You got to think about this. If you look at all of our leaders, or so-called leaders, whatever you want to call them, back in the day, they were 21 years old, 22 years old, very considered babies, what we would consider now, with full-blown wives and families and children. Teenagers have made up concept to coddle people so they don't have to grow up. That's all it is.
My grandmother got married at 14. My grandma got married at 14. My grandmother said what she could do at 14, women cannot do now at 25.
It's different. It's totally different.
Let me share something with you. Hey, JoJo, how are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Good. So let me share something with y'all. When I was in high school, y'all know we was the bus drivers, right? Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, the 12th graders were the bus drivers, and they were married, and we smoked cigarettes and did all that in school. It was allowed when I went to high school. So I know y'all have never experienced that, but really it was. It was like that. You could drive a bus at 17 and 18 because you were legal to drive, and smoking cigarettes was what the age back then was 16, and you could get married. So there were people that were like that in my high school, married at 16, 17, 18 years old.
You could send an 8-year-old to get your cigarettes.
Yep. Yeah. No ID needed.
But the generation back then is totally different now. I think back then you guys were raised more as an adult quicker than what they are now, right? So y'all had more.
It was real for us. It was more. Everything was mechanical. Now everything for you all is online and virtual. You don't have to think about anything. I know, like my grandbaby, like, Grandma, can you get me a calculator? I'm like, a calculator for what? You can't. You need to learn. They don't have to add and subtract anymore. They can do it on a calculator. You know, there's no learning how to write in cursive in the 3rd grade. There's no writing anymore. You know, there's no having a signature. Just print your name and you just move on.
That's intentional. That's intentional to take away your critical thinking ability. Because me and Q are around the same age, right? You could remember all the numbers that's stored in your head that you can memorize. But you know now, the odds of you being able to memorize somebody telling you a number, it's not there.
It's not there.
They slowly add components to the world to slowly take away from you having to do it so that they can extract money out of you, to take away the little tedious things that you don't want to do and just snatch. Oh, we'll give you some money for that. Oh, we'll pay you for it. Don't have to do it on your own. Our minds are like computers. If you go back and think about just how smart people used to be, like all they did was dumb us down and take every component away from us slowly but surely. Technology is great, but there is a downside to it if it's not minimized. And what you're seeing is a now newer generation of all technological kids. Me and Q, we right around that tail end before the computers were computers, before the cell phones was cell phones.
Right.
You know, it's over now. Babies got cell phones at 8 years old.
Exactly. I didn't get a cell phone till junior year in high school. It's because I was in sports. I didn't care in having a cell phone. It's because I needed to call them. I didn't want a cell phone. I didn't even care about getting my driver's license. My parents was like, no, you need this. Go get a driver's license so we can get you a car because you can drive yourself because we're tired of this. But it's like now it's so technology focused. Like imagine if you guys went to the islands, you didn't have internet for 3 months. What would you do? What would you do if you didn't have power? That's what happens out there. We don't have power for 3 months. What can you do? Can you live off that? Like,
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with some of these people. The delete record will go up 90%.
Oh, stop it. So listen, hold on for a minute, guys. Listen, when you're coming into the live, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Hey,
Jenny. I love
Security boss.
Yes,
I got a question. What happened to the teachers that used to whoop your ass? I mean, because
listen, when I was in school, the principal had a paddle, and he used to
What?
paddle us when we got out of line. Everything
Man.
was acceptable. You had what 2 paddlings, and then you was good. Everything was good. You went back, and everything was good. Now it's just crazy. But JoJo, what you got to add to this? Let's hear this. What's going on with you,
tell 'em
JoJo?
something, Joe.
Well, I believe the biggest issue is people listen to be combative
Yeah.
and not listen to understand and seek knowledge. That's
Preach.
the biggest issue.
So is that
Because
what,
it makes no sense for a person to be spreading wisdom and knowledge to you. And the only thing you can do is start pinpointing, oh, they said this word wrong. Oh, this word don't mean that. Let's go look up a dictionary and see what that word means. Oh, you married? And all this other stuff that they do instead of taking the knowledge and applying it where it needs to be applied in their life. You don't have to take everything, just take what applies to your life and that can uproot you from where you are in that lower state, that lower level in your life, and get you where you need to be at. But they want to, I don't understand it. They want to be combative and debate you.
do you think though that they may have an issue or may not be able to recognize what's knowledge due to the way their upbringing?
No, they about know it. That's why they attack the way they do, because it hurts when you hear truth.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if I tell you the truth about something, like a lot of people, let's use a job. When you get constructive criticism, a lot of people don't know how to handle that. They'll normally internalize it as a personal attack instead of saying, okay, these are my weaknesses. On my next review, if I do this, 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 and this, like they said, I can get a better review. Instead, they say that the manager don't like me, people talking about me at work. You see? They made rumors about, oh, I'm black, or I'm not a man, or I'm a woman. It's crazy. So that's all people do. They just try to find a way to be combative instead of facing the truth and making sure you get through the life issue that you're having, that the person trying to tell you you're having, so you can become a better person.
So let me share something with y'all, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I had an employee that was having problems getting to work on time. I talked to him about it and gave him another opportunity. And he did well for a couple of weeks. Then he fell back into not coming on time. So in the end, of course, I wrote him up and I terminated him. And you know what he said to me? Y'all not gonna believe this.
Uh-oh.
He said, "You knew I was careless."
What the hell? You should
Security. What did he mean by that? Just because you gave him a chance?
What I took from it is you knew not to have any expectation of me to be on time for work.
And that goes to back what I was saying about black people handling
and me reminding him of how important his job was, trying to motivate him, whatever. He said, you knew that I was careless. And so basically, you knew I was careless. Why did you even give me a chance? That's how, I took it. I promise y'all he did it. I said, what?
Now, security boss, imagine if your name was Diane or Patricia, and you were sitting there and you said, why are you not on time? He would have never said that to her. He would have never.
A black man unfiltered. You know what's the sad part? Even if her name was those names, he would have said the same thing.
I'm sorry.
Really
I'm
sad.
sorry.
He would have said the same.
It's really
Guys,
sad.
I got 1 minute before I start, guys. So hey, I love each and every one of y'all. I'm out. I gotta go.
I appreciate you, black man.
All right.
He better not put you as a reference.
That's what he said, y'all. Because so my point I'm trying to make with that is that, you know, where the young man, he didn't realize that he was being that was disrespectful for your business to conduct yourself that way. But I didn't handle him that way. I went to him and told him how important he was to the company, how important it is for the account holders that we be on time. And I did all that, you know, motivating, you know, this is something I need to do to, you know, to make sure you get to work on time, you know, give you another shift or whatever. We did all of that. No, I get it. I'm gonna get it together and all this. Okay. And in the end, he could not get together. And his response to me was, you knew I was careless.
Hey, I'm sorry, security boss, but I might have to trigger some people right now. I cannot stand the average worker. I cannot stand them. Their mentality is horrible because they're so controlled by politicians that they don't have an understanding that the reason you should always be grateful that you have a job. But when people say be grateful, you can work, you have a job, they don't understand the reason why you need to be grateful. The reason why the average worker, and I'm an employee, right? But I have an understanding. The reason why you have to be grateful is when you get employed, this is someone that is literally paying you because you don't know how to sustain making a living on your own. You don't have the ability to generate revenue or income on your own. So when somebody gives you a actual place, an actual income to feed yourself and your family, you should be more than grateful because they could starve you. So I cannot stand the average worker because they think, oh, if you pay me more money, then I'll be a better worker. No, you'll never be able to get enough money. You'll always ask for more.
Yes.
I just can't. I'm sorry. I just cannot stand the average worker because they don't have no respect for business owners. They don't have no respect for ownership at all.
You have no idea because I pay child supports too, several orders. So you have no idea how deep this gets. So, but with that being said, I'm going to go to Dr. Panderson. Dr. Panderson, how are you doing today?
All is well. However, as usual, I have some disagreements.
That's what you're here for, brother.
With that blue beater you got on.
The blue beater.
I'm gonna change in a few because I'm going out to go saucing. But,
Okay.
Going back to the first thing I heard when I logged on was people talking about cutting off on the panels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everybody, and I like as much garbage as I'll be talking. I like everybody. I just am who I am, and always come with good intentions. So if y'all don't know that, but next time you're moderating, pull somebody up and just say, you know what, I'm gonna key on this person over here. And look at how many times they just tried to speak and say a sentence and they weren't able to. Eventually, yeah, they're going to boil up and start cutting off. And then sometimes they're going to get cut off by two other people. And it gets to be that's the only way you can talk. Because there are a few people who cutting off is what they do and the microphone belongs to them. So how can you speak? Or when they try to speak their piece, when they finally got the mic, they get cut off. So then you got mic battles. I'm just saying, you'll see it.
But you know what, Dr. Panderson, we didn't have a problem with that. We agree with you on that. But it's the way that you cut off. Even with me right now, you getting ready to go to another point. It's okay for you to cut me off to get your point out because we're having conversation. But I'm not going to be rude to you, or I'm not going to. It's a way that you do this, because we're having conversation. It's just the way that you do it, and the way that we do it over here. I don't think anybody has any problems with it or feel, disrespected. It's just the way that it can be done. But it's a difference. Like if you started speaking in what you said, I say no. That's not how we're doing it. I'm like, Dr. Panderson, wait a minute, let me say this. It's just the way it can be done. But we do try to let everybody speak, but it's still a way.
Yeah, I try to be respectful. And a lot of times somebody's talking and I know they've been waiting. I was like, go ahead, Mandrell. Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead. I can't stand battling for the mic anyway.
But that's a difference, Scam.
It's also not my show.
Yeah, but that's a difference how we operate on the weekends and stuff like that. But that's a difference compared to did you watch last night's show?
Off and on.
Okay, then never mind.
I spend more time trolling than anything. Trolling season. Yeah, I do. But
I never had to put so many people in timeout. I had to put so many people in timeout. I had to block so many people comments. Like the people were just overly disrespectful. Like overly in the comment section. Like, and I normally don't. Oh man, it was bad.
I was just making.
You had to cut the stream short on Monday.
No, there was some technical issue with that one. Honestly, we don't know what happened with that. But you know what? Sometimes things just happen for the better.
So
I'm not dressed for the thing. I just got back from dinner with my wife.
Well, you look nice, Mike.
You do look nice, Mike. I never seen you with it dressed up.
No,
see, Mike, don't let him know you can do it, Mike. You gotta.
Mike came for the occasion.
He
don't
sure
let
did.
him know.
You as a specialist with the uniform.
So, Mike, what you got to add to this? What you know about disrespect, Mike?
Well, usually disrespect, it depends. Because if you're talking from a conversation point of view, usually when people give disrespect, mostly people you get disrespect, usually the argument. or the debate in that regard. Because they start hitting to an emotional level, or they start hitting low blows because they can't make an argument no more. They can't back up their argument.
So is it true disrespect, or is it now that now truth is considered disrespect?
Well, if truth is to consider disrespect, is it disrespect that they're telling the truth, or is it disrespect because of the way you're taking it?
That's the question. That's where we are right now.
I mean, because like we as people, we don't like to admit that we don't like to get hit with hard truths.
Right.
We don't. No matter who you are, we don't like to sit there and face our faults. So yeah, we may take it as disrespect, and then we'll sit there and say, "Oh, it's not what you said; it's how you said." We use all these excuses of why we don't want to accept that truth.
Right.
You know what, Mike? Though, you know what? It's not disrespect. You know what it is? It's pain. I'm gonna tell you. And they can tell you themselves whether they agree or not. People don't like who they see in the mirror when they look in the morning and see that person in the mirror. They don't like who they see.
I've said
They don't like it. They don't like it, bro. They don't like who they are in the mirror. So when you speak to them and tell them about their truth, like who they really are, they react with pain. We view it as, dang, you disrespectful. It's actually pain most of the time because they are so unhappy with who they are. They feel so stuck wherever they're at in their life. They feel they're not worthy enough, whatever the case is. And you tell them things trying to be constructive and supportive and helpful, and they hear that truth that you give them as pain, and they have an outburst.
Yeah.
That's what I think most people actually are. I don't even think it's disrespect.
But here's also the thing too: a lot of people project their issues onto others.
Yeah,
That's definitely true.
Yeah. Aaron has a point. Sale says.
I think it's a taught behavior.
Say it again.
I think it's a taught behavior, and
It could be a taught behavior by your childhood or a defense mechanism you made for yourself to deal with your pain.
I'm not gonna go into it.
But don't you feel like now that everything now is disrespect? I mean, it's like almost you can't say anything to a person without them being disrespected. And sometimes the things you say may save their lives. What do you think about that though?
I can't relate. Like I honestly cannot relate. How can I say it? One day I was 24 years old. I went down to New Orleans for a convention. I used to do prepaid legal back in the day. Went down to New Orleans. My friend was in dental school. I crashed at his spot. And I got me a short, it was my favorite short sleeve shirt. Red shirt, and I had this nice tie. Still got the tie. Just dressing, throwing my suit on. I thought I was George Jefferson.
They don't clone air.
He says, "Hey, what are you doing? Huh? You're not leaving out of here with that short."
Oh,
Let me get drunk.
There you go.
You're not leaving here with that short sleeve shirt and that tie. Huh? I didn't. Nobody told me that you don't wear a short sleeve shirt with a suit. Where are my people? And I'm the type of person, if I'm dusting out there, somebody, hey, bro, come here. You're dusty, bro. I want to know so I can fix it. I'm more upset that somebody didn't tell me. You're going to leave me out there looking like a math teacher? Tell me the truth.
Yep.
I want to know, how can I fix it? So like when I was younger trying to date girls, and I was just fumbling big time. Got the girl to come over, and then something, I screw it up. 2 days later, call over, man, the girl. They're like, dude, you said what? You did what, bro? I needed people to tell me because I didn't know. So yes, I always wanted the truth. So if somebody pandered to me, I can't fix the problem. But that's the only thing that I know. Other people who operate in emotion and they want you to tell them what they want, I can't relate. I don't know that. I never will. I've never been wired that way.
But I think Miss Jennifer, the one that the comment just put up, made an excellent point. A lot of people are more worried about being right in the argument than learning from it.
She says, I think people act out in the need to just be right. It's a spirit of rejection. Oh, I like that, Miss Jennifer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More people.
I know for women that's a problem. I think women argue with men for that reason. I think when men say something to a woman or approach a woman, I think a lot of the pushback is because they feel rejected by that man.
I had another point, but it can wait. It ain't urgent.
Go ahead. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Oh no, something different. Back in the beginning, I said, when y'all talking about the Sway versus KS situation.
Yes, you did comment on that. Go ahead.
Well, those two, it's two different things. There's an elder. They're saying something. Hey, we need to all wear suits. In which, let me be honest, I don't fully remember the conversation. I just remember the argument because I didn't rewind it back to hear again. But what I got was one person. I'm here. I'm this person. I'm an image consultant. Everybody need to wear a seat. See, look at you. You pushing back. And he's saying, hey, I'm not pushing back. You didn't let me finish. Even as an elder, you're still supposed to give respect to the next generation. There's 22-year-olds that will pull out a pistol and smoke you for not respecting them. But still, if you're communicating, no, I'm just saying.
No. I got to cut you off there, bro. I'm sorry.
We
can't even put that type of energy out. Even if an elder is wrong, they have earned the right to be wrong.
Younger people have the right to be wrong too because they don't know.
Yes, but you know what? Hold on.
What if you did?
I understand. Hold on, Scam. Here's the thing, right? And this is the God honest truth, especially when it comes to men, and women can speak to women. Men have an issue with knowing that somebody necessarily, like, we're not equal. Just because you're a man and another man don't make you equal. And so when someone as an elder, they outrank you in this thing called life. And we have such a hard thing about understanding that elders outrank us. Like, if someone said, look here, young man, I'm an elder, respect me. You know what I would do? Yes, you're right. Even if they're wrong, I understand how it comes across for me to be combative about that. It's not worth it. And so I'm telling you now, we have an issue with a hierarchy. We have an issue with the elders are above us. That don't make them a better human being, a better nothing. They are above us. So when it comes to that, if an elder is speaking, whether they're right or wrong, you don't have to fight them. Think about it. If someone's like, oh yeah, you know what, Q ain't that smart. I don't think she's smart. And she like, oh, I know I'm smart. She don't even have to respond. If you don't agree with what somebody is saying in that moment, you have to be cognitive and aware of the moment and understand what's the impact deeper than just myself.
Well, I agree.
Deeper than just myself. Go ahead, bro.
I agree initially, but it's like I'm older than you are.
Mm-hmm.
I respect you because I respect you. I respect the people in the chat, even the ones that dust me off. I respect them because they're people. I respect Islandgyal because she respects me. I don't care when I was 18 or if I'm 84. If a person does not respect me or I feel disrespected, the respect is done. I don't care how old you are. Or if I feel like they're coming without good intentions.
Feelings is the issue that I'm having, Scam.
Listen, if they're coming with bad intentions, the elder thing is done.
No, but there wasn't bad intentions. And what are you considering bad intentions? We're just speaking. We're just talking.
He possibly felt like.
Felt. You're right.
Felt. It's the emotion.
Let's get Bolo in on this. Hey, Bolo, how are you?
How you doing, SB? Everybody on the panel, what's going on? Salute to everybody. I think I think his name is Mike, and what Doctor is saying, there's truth to both sides, right? The side that Mike is talking about, that the elders, they have experience, right? They have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that they've gone through that has been taught, tried and tested. It's not something that they worked in the lab. They've gone out into the streets and they've managed to go through life and figure things out. And the position Doctor's coming from is, there has to be a mutual understanding between the two, right? Because the scriptures tell you that the elders shouldn't make the youngers upset. There's a way that you need to speak to the youngers, because if you want them to partake in that knowledge that you have and that, you so graciously learned and went through this life, there's a certain presentation in which you need to bring it in. It has to be that way. It can't just be because I'm an elder, I can talk to you the way I want to. It can't go that way. It doesn't go that way because Christ don't do that with you. He presents his knowledge to you in a way that you can receive it. So how would you like it if someone is trying to teach you, but the way they're teaching you is they cursing you the hell out? You ain't gonna receive a damn thing they trying to say, even though what they're saying might be right. So there has to be a forum in which and how you present it. I'll give you a simple example of it, real simple. SB, what is your favorite food?
Probably chicken.
Okay. If I took that chicken and put it on a garbage can lid, would you eat it?
No.
Probably
If I
not.
took that, if on finest china I could find, would you eat it?
I didn't hear that last part. Say it once more.
Finest china that I could find, would you eat it?
Yes.
What's the difference?
You put it in the trash.
How it was presented. How it was
The
presented.
presentation, yeah. The way it looks to me. Yeah.
I should have said it in those words. Just better well
So
put what I'm trying to say without using feelings.
So the point is you have to understand that when we say emotion, we can't get this conversation convoluted with emotions. Let me explain to you why I say that. Emotion is a vehicle that connects us. It's not problem. The emotional is too much. But for me,
Hold up, we can't hear you.
Yeah, his phone's breaking
Your
up.
audio's breaking up.
Mike Dub, mute your mic. I think that might be your feedback a little bit, Mike Dub. Because I know you be having issues when you.
can you hear me now?
Ha ha.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So emotion is something that connects us. It's when you're emotional that we have the problem, right? Because it's too much. See, when you get emotional, cognitive thought is gone. You're now in your amygdala, you're in that fight or flight. You're not thinking, right? And when the amygdala is in action, you have to understand what that part of the brain is for. That part of the brain is for when you're in trouble. A dog is chasing you. You ain't got time to figure things out. So your brain starts to think really quick. We need to get over that fence. We don't know what's on the other side of the fence, but we'll worry about it when we get there. Right? That part of the brain was never meant to be on consistently. It's meant to be on like a fan in a car. It comes on when the motor gets hot and then shuts off. A lot of us live in our amygdala. We're supposed to live in the hippocampus. So that being said, so if Islandgyal is going through something, cute, she's going through something. I can't come to her like Spock and say, listen, just get through it. It will be okay. We're not going to connect. Even though what I'm saying is there to help her, we have to connect on some type of an emotion, because that emotion is what's going to give me the wherewithal to understand what she's going through. Because I take that emotion, hand it up to my spiritual and mental, and then it gives me perspective and context to what she's feeling. Because I have to connect with her on that. How many times have someone tried to talk to you and you're going through something and they didn't understand what you was going through, and they tried to give you some information and you just didn't receive it? But somebody else gave you something similar and you received it because they connected with you. So when we say emotion is something that we should not have, you'll have a bunch of spots walking around. And no one will understand and no one will
Bolo, it seems like
sympathetic.
this-
Lolo, you
I think it was a logical argument. I think it was a logical disagreement more than it was emotional. Meaning, the foundation was logical. I'm trying to say this. I didn't say that. You cut me off. Then comes the emotion, and it wasn't an emotional-based conversation or disagreement. You
yeah, I
understand?
can
But
think that
that
was disrespect.
that's the point. The point that I'm trying to make to you is every conversation that we have has emotion connected to it.
True.
There's no emotion. There's no conversation you're going to have on this planet that does not have emotion connected to it. Name a conversation. So it's kind of it's crazy to say that we're going to have a conversation and not have emotion connected to it. There may be a little emotion to it, or there may be more conversations that are more emotional based. Sure.
So what I'm hearing from you, Bolo, is that people need to have, first of all, emotional intelligence, and then second, at least a good basic knowledge of communication skills.
That goes, well, one, that goes without saying. Two, it's about understanding the man or the woman or the young man or young woman that you're speaking to.
Yeah, you got to have empathy and understanding of where they're coming from.
Empathy.
That's
Empathy.
absolutely, because again, if you have a nail in your head, right, and you're talking to me about the problems that you have in your life. Obviously, what's going to be sticking out to me is the nail in your head. And in my mind, I'm thinking if I take that nail out of Mike's head, everything is going to be good. But you're steadily telling me these other issues, and I'm steadily looking at the nail in your head. This is what we stuck on. A lot of us are not really hearing each other when we speak. We're looking at the obvious, and usually the obvious is not the issue. Usually the obvious is a symptom of what the sickness is.
And a lot of times too, a lot of people aren't looking for a solution. They're just trying to get something off their chest.
A good point. Sometimes you have to know the difference. Sometimes you have to know when to just listen and know when to double dutch into a situation. Sometimes they just, like my man said, sometimes they just want to hear. Sometimes they just want to let loose. They just want to vent. So we have to understand that when you give truth, and this is the problem that we have, especially in our community, we give truth without love. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. Because I can say to Doctor, yo, you my man. I love you. You my brother. But your breath be humming, G. You
can smell it through the cameraman.
Yeah.
Glad you told me the truth.
You know, and you'll tell me, thank you, man. Thank you, because you know that I wasn't coming from a place of ill will, right? But if I don't know you, and I come to you and go, yo, my G, your breath stink. It was the truth. You're going to look at me like, B, you don't know me that way. What the hell you think you're talking to? And that's the point. The point is we don't have that village mentality where I'm able to talk to you. And that's the disconnect between the older and the younger. There's that disrespect or that disconnect between the two where you can't talk to me and tell me what I need to do to get better, even though you live life longer than me and you may have the answer.
But Bolo, I also think it's a lack of immaturity, because I'll even admit myself, when I was young, I thought I knew it all. There was nothing you could tell me. I thought I could figure it out myself. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, you old. You don't live in my generation, so what the F do you know?
That's all youngins. But this is what I say to youngins that say that, right? I say to the youngins that say, I wear Jordans the same way they wear Jordans. I listen to the music the same way they listen to the music. I wear the same clothes they wear. There's nothing different. The only difference is you have access to more things. That's it. More information. That's the only difference. More information. But
I completely agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
So listen, guys, hold on 1 second. Let me do this super chat. And Luke Casely, thank you for the $10 super chat. And you get the money line song. Y'all know what to do in the money line song. Come on. Hold on, we can't see you, but we got to imagine that your shoulders are moving, okay? We imagine it now. Mike, you know what to do in the money line song. Come on. Mike, I don't see your shoulders moving.
Mike might not have rhythm. It's okay, Mike.
Mike, you ain't got no rhythm. Yeah.
Nah, you better learn. He got a black wife. Come on, Mike.
I saw something moving over there. I saw him kind of going to the right, to the left. You know, I saw him. All right. So listen. So Bolo, you're saying that far as the elders go, which I consider myself an elder. I can't believe I said that. Did that come out my mouth? Anyway, we have to be love when we have to show empathy and love when we're saying things to the younger generation, so they'll understand that we're coming from the same place, but we understand what they're going through and know how it turns out. Is that really what you're trying to say?
Yes, and also that we have to understand that we don't know everything.
We don't.
So there's going to be some things that they've gone through that they are going to try and impart on us, and we need to humble ourselves in here, because a lot of us as elders, what do we say? Man, you can't teach me nothing. I've been on this earth for 50 years. What can you tell me? You only been here for 18, but you have an experience.
My world is small. These folks doing a lot of different things I ain't never heard of. I wouldn't dare say that.
But here's the thing, though. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one, all right? A lot of times, and I understand what Bolo was saying, I completely agree with him, but realistically, no one wants to hear that the breath stinks. And it don't matter who say it. It could be your closest friend. Now, they may rub it off in the back of their head. They're saying, How the hell do you say that to me?
No,
You gotta,
I would want to know.
I think it matters where the location. Like it matters the if you're with just one person, you're amongst a group. Like the settings, I think matter. Like if it's 20 girls
that's
outside,
true. That's true.
you know what I mean. Like I think if just one of your homies, you tell, hey, bro, you might have to. It's different, but you know, I get what you're saying.
And also keep in mind that if I sit there and I tell you and I say, well, if SB comes to me and says, Bolo, your breath is kicking, it's humming, right? And I scream on SB, you gotta really think, was our relationship that close? Was it that close? Because you telling me my breath stink doesn't help her, it helps me. So if you're in a place where you have a relationship with somebody, I'm talking about a true relationship, right? It doesn't need to be physical or, you know, if you have a true relationship with someone and this is your brother or this is your sister, and they know that you're coming from a place of love, that's the problem. Even if, you have to understand something. When we had the village mentality, we didn't need to know each other directly. We knew that there was still love in the village. So if someone pulled you by your coat, if an elder pulled you by your coat and said, come here, man, I see the way you're trying to talk to that young girl. Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, you had that understanding, that admiration for them and that respect because that atmosphere was of love. Right now, we're separated. Right now, everyone is trying to get theirs. So when an elder or a younger tries to connect, it's not a connection out of love. It's a connection as adversaries. Well, you think you know. What makes you think better? I know this. I have been saying, you know what? Try to hear the young and understand them and try to get to that point where I can build with them.
Your service is going in and out, sir.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You dropping knowledge though, but it's going in and out like you on an island or something.
But let me speak to what he's saying, and there's a lot of truth behind that. And this could go to a relationship sense. If you don't have the foundation of truth and that you could be honest with each other from the get-go, it is going to be a problem later on. Like, let's say your significant other, he or she, is gaining weight, and you have never built that foundation to where you could be completely honest with each other. That is going to be a problem. No matter how you spill it, you can whisper in the ear, you can give hints. No matter how you say it, it's going to be a problem. And they're going to take it the wrong way. So a lot of times you have to build that foundation to where you could be honest and truthful with each other without them taking it the wrong way.
But does it really matter? You know, I mean, you know, you can apologize for having to say it. It's still the truth. Doesn't that make it better? You know, I know you don't want to hear it, but I can't let you go out like this. I think that's what a good friend does. A good friend will not let you go out and be embarrassed. That's what a good wife or husband does for the spouse, you know, for the wife or husband. That's what we do. That's how we protect each other. You know, you hear all the time about the men protecting women from their dress and how they go out because men know what other men are like. So when they say, listen, you know, you can't wear that short dress, you know, even if it's cute on us, even if it fits perfect, you're like, no, babe, no, wife, I can't have you do that. It's because the man knows how the men look. And women, we need to know that they know that, and it's for our protection, not for control. So, you know, even if we want to hear it, we have to accept it.
It's also how we.
But I've also heard this, security boss, sometimes is that this is an issue that we know we need to work on, and we've been caught on it, and so we self-project our frustration on the other person. We know this issue is a problem for us, and we know we need to work on it. But our frustration within is internally, and then it comes outward towards the person that's calling us out on it.
Okay. So I know my mouth is rotten, and they're calling me out on it. So I'm embarrassed, in other words.
Pretty much, yes.
But it's also how we say it. So I'm honest with my friends, but I've told a stranger his breath stank. But I said it how I said it wasn't like, dang, get away from me. I said it in a joking way. Like I'm at a restaurant at the bar eating by myself, and the guy was trying to order a drink, talking to me. I was like, no offense. I don't know what you just ate. I hope it was good, but here's the gum. Like I'm goofy. Like your breath, I don't know what you ate. So it's how we also say stuff. Like if I would have been like, "Dang, your breast ain't get away from me," like he would have felt a different. Yeah, he would have got offended. So it's also how we communicate, because there's a difference. Let's say, as security boss says, if your woman is going out with a dress, dang, you look fat in that. Right. But if you said, "Babe, you know that doesn't look right on you," it's perceived both totally different.
Right.
From my experience, no matter how you twist that, it's never going to end well.
No, that's not the case, Mike Dub.
That's not. No, I can hear, "Babe, that's not the best looking dress on you." I can hear that versus, "Damn, that's too tight." Ooh, with the face and all of that too. No.
What I go to, I said, "Why don't you wear my?" Now I have like 3 favorite dresses. Why don't you wear one of my favorite dresses?
Okay, that might work. Mm-hmm. But listen, Bolo tells this story a lot, and I think Bolo might have. I think he said he got it from Tommy. I don't really know, but he tells a story about this man going through a tunnel.
Yeah. The train. I got it from Tommy.
Yeah. Okay, Bolo, you back? Okay, so you go ahead and tell the story, Bolo, because it goes to what we're saying on how you can say something perfect. You know, so Bolo, go ahead and tell that story.
There's a black man who he gets his first time on a train, and he's caught up, in the experience. And there's a white man sitting down calmly, and the black man is sticking his head out the window all the time. So he's in awe. So as he's sticking his head out the window, the white guy says, "Hey, N-word, bring your head back into the train." And he doesn't hear him the first time. He says, "Hey, N-word, bring your head back into the train." He turns around and says, "Who the hell are you calling the N-word?" And right as he say that, a tunnel takes his head off. So a lot of the times we get caught up in wanting to hear it a certain way, but we're not actually listening to the message.
Yeah, and that whole of the N-word was more likely to get his attention.
If it's not.
There's a lot of words you can get attention instead of you saying the N-word, though.
Oh, that's the most triggering word in Black American history.
Sometimes you got to use a triggering word to get someone's attention.
It didn't work that day.
It clearly didn't get his attention, though.
No, it got his attention. It just didn't get him to move.
Yeah, you don't get to choose how people respond.
And he used the N. The point of the story is, regardless of whether someone uses a triggering or not, hear the message, because that message may save your life. Doesn't matter how it's being told, because in some situations, you may not have the time to try and decipher the person. You may only have enough time to decipher the message.
Absolutely.
You're definitely right, Bolo, but some people can't separate the message from emotions. That's the problem. Some people can't separate the two.
That's what happened to him. That was what happened to him. He was all emotional about the N-word. Couldn't even see what was up ahead.
He lost his life. So the point is, if he would have brought his head in, now you got all the time in the world to talk to him about the N-word. You got all the time in the world. But a lot of the times we're stuck on second base with a hockey stick. We're playing the wrong game. We're not addressing the issue. We're addressing the person. And that's what we do all the time. A lot of the times people ask, "Why don't you show your face, Bolo? Why don't you show your face?" Because I want you to argue my message, not me. Argue the message.
But you want to know why that is, Bolo? Because it's easier to argue the person than argue the issue.
Exactly. It's easier. That's why they came up with the saying, "Don't shoot the messenger." Because it's easier to deal with the person than deal with the truth. Because the truth stands on its own. You can't fight the truth. Say to you nicely, "Your breath stink," or if I say to you roughly, "Your breath stink." At the end of the day,
your breath stink.
Your breath stink. Now we like
Bolo, your service is trash. No offense.
No service he got, man.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Service is trash.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Take it in love.
I don't want to hear no government jokes. I don't want to hear no government jokes.
You sound like you in McDonald's Wi-Fi. Sorry.
I got a question for the panel.
We love you, though. We love you.
I got a question for the panel.
Oh gosh, thinking man, how are you, sir?
Thinking me.
What's up, thinking man?
What's up, Eugene? What's good?
You're muted, Ken.
Can
y'all hear me now?
I can hear.
There you go. No, you good now. You good now. You coming in?
Okay. Hey, hopefully everybody's having a good night so far. It's just getting started. Y'all already setting it off.
No,
Yeah.
we're trying to be good over here, man.
It's the pre-show.
Got to get worse.
Yeah. Now I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all think that somebody can respect something that they don't value?
Yes.
Yep.
Uh,
Let me think about it before I respond.
You know what? That would be what we've been talking about all night because
Exactly.
you know, I think young people have trouble valuing the opinions of elders, and that's why there's a lack of respect. So I'm going to say probably not. And
Well-
until they see the value in it, they won't.
You know what? I'm gonna take it this way, because Ken, that's my big bro. If he, let's just say I hate fish, right? I don't even like fish, right? But he like, bro, I need you to watch my fish, and I think fish are stupid. But if I value him, I can value the fish.
Third party.
But I don't care about the fish. I value him. So I kind of look at it that way. Like I care about other people's things. Not that their stuff matters, but it's because it's yours. If you get what I'm saying, like you leave something in my care, I could care less what it is. I'm more focused on you, the individual that I care about, if that makes sense. So
yeah, it does. It does.
But you're still not valuing that thing. You just value the
agree.
relationship with him.
I
Yeah.
agree. That's why I'm not sure how I can think about that right now.
But I also feel like a lot of
respect something you don't value. So you still would have respect for it because he has respect for it. And out of your value of your relationship, okay.
but that requires a strong relationship for that to take place, though.
Well, do people have a right to not respect something or not believe something? Can people be wrong? Is that okay?
Yes, but how many people will admit to it?
That was a question we asked earlier. Can you not respect people?
Right.
Or is it okay? Is it okay to not respect the person because they're wrong? Is that okay?
That sounds like a more of an emotional response than anything.
No, what if, for example, there's things that me and security boss disagree on, probably to this day.
Mm-hmm.
She's married and I'm not. That's true. But I still don't believe what it is that she says.
Oh yeah, you're pretty much saying there's a term that you can. Oh, okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it was a delay. I thought you were done talking. My bad.
Oh,
Anderson, go ahead and say what you were saying because it kind of cut off. Say it again.
okay. No, you. What was I saying? Oh,
You and I don't agree on something.
right. One, I respect you. I respect your platform, and I respect that you're married.
Right.
She'll say something, and I just don't agree because I just don't see it. A lot of stuff you say, I do see. Some things you say, I don't see it, and I can't pretend like I see it, and that's how it is. I just don't. Is there something wrong with that?
No,
No.
that's pretty much the terms we can agree to disagree. You're not always going to agree with everything, but as long as you could come with them terms and you're a mature adult about it, what's the problem?
Exactly.
Because
Agreement with them two is that they didn't come to terms about it more.
But there are some people out there that, and this is what gets into bad situations, is that they will keep arguing with you until you agree with their point, and they will not let it go.
Hold on to that thought right there. We got a super chat from Big Bad Bull, $20 super chat. He said, "Let me see them shoulders bounce." Y'all know what to do, right? Oh, you done added something else. All right. Mr. Steele, I think you the winner. I think you got it.
Hey.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Big Bad Bull. I got one more here. Javaris Lee. Javaris, how are you? Dr. Panderson, you had me dying laughing on the Kay and Kayla show. You know what I'm talking about. You also shout out to the security boss and everyone on the panel for doing the work that is needed. Okay, there you go, Javaris. I hope you're somewhere moving your shoulders. That's what you got to do when you hear the money line song.
Come on, Ken and Mike. What y'all doing?
Bob my head.
Oh, that's what y'all do?
See, what happens is, the man over here is so serious. He can't move his shoulders. But guess what? He stay around here long enough. He'll be over here bouncing. He'll have his own thing going. Don't worry about it. It's contagious.
No, that's how he is in person. He's so serious, security boss. Like he's the security man. Like he'll
That's
just
my guy. No. You're not gonna gang up on my guy like that.
I'm not.
Guess what? You're gonna be singing that song in your sleep tonight. It's one of them songs, right? It gets in your head, and you be like, "Funny line."
You know,
He's gonna be singing to his son to sleep tonight.
Security boss, I have to bow out, but I appreciate you having me on the platform.
I appreciate you for being here and
Bye,
adding
Aaron.
some
See you later.
conversation.
I'm gonna be listening in the background. I'm gonna catch y'all later.
All right, thank you.
All right, bro.
All right, bye.
Bye. So, thinking man, before you answer that question, because I want you to give us what you think about that question you asked, I want to say hello to Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele, how are you doing?
Hey, what was the question again?
Thinking man's question is, can you value something you don't respect? Or did I say it backwards? Can you respect something you don't value?
Right. Can you respect something you don't value? 1 second. My son about to knock my camera over. Hold on 1 second.
Aw, can we see the sun?
I bet he want to hear that song. That's what it is. He want to hear that song.
Yeah. He was dance.
Mr. Steele, go ahead and tell us what you think about this. We're talking about respect. I know you've been in here, you've been commenting. What do you think about this? Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
No. Drop down. Okay, so Dr. Pedersen, you silly. So tell me something. You want to share what happened on the Kay and Kayla show that you and Javaris, because y'all only two that know what's going on. I mean, really.
Eugene Steele. And Conflict when the first introduced ground rules. No, I was asking him which show because I've been clowning on there plenty of times.
Oh, okay.
That is true. That is true.
So, Mr. Steele, can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. First and foremost, it seems like there are some people who have different different perspective of what respect is.
Yes.
Some people pretty much do not understand what respect is. A person in one area can have one definition while another person can have another. Some people have the wrong concept of right or wrong. Some people in one area can have one concept while another can have another. So that can factor in this whole respect thing.
Right.
Second thing is, you talk about disrespect, and all of you have touched on all parts of it. Ego. Let's see, ego, emotion, wanting to be right,
hostility,
competition.
Shame.
I hear that a lot.
Shame.
It's so many different factors here.
Yes.
Yeah, you can have, even temptation sometimes go into it. And let me tell you how that is, temptation. Let's say something that looks very good and enticing to you, and all of a sudden somebody warns you, about it. And sometimes you say, what are you talking about? I mean, look at that, right? And here's somebody telling you from experience about what it actually does to you. That's what I meant by temptation.
Okay. I'm gonna have to think about that one. I think I'm there, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to think about that temptation. I can kind of see where you're going with this, but I don't see the disrespect in it.
Well, it's like sometimes you have this argument about, and I don't know if I can say this, about whether a guy wears a condom or not.
Right.
Some people are trying to tell him, look, there's a reason you should put it on to protect you from diseases or protect you from pregnancy.
Right.
However, here's where the temptation comes in for the ones who's arguing against it. I can't feel it. And therefore, they're going to argue against you about putting it on. That's what I'm talking about, temptation.
I got you.
Yeah.
Listen, Sway in the morning is in the chat. Hello, Sway. How are you? Listen, we've been talking about you a little bit here and there. We have the link here if you want to cam up.
Oh, he says he's at work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wanted to hear what he had to say too.
Thank you for listening. But I get what you're saying. So listen, let's go back to that initial question though. Yeah, you. He say me. Yes, well, you could. Yeah, we were talking about you a little bit. Not you. Yeah, we were talking about you. Your situation that you had on Sunday. Or was it Sunday? Yes, on Sunday with KS. So anyway, let's go back to that question that Thinking Man had though. Is it possible to respect something that you don't value?
It's possible. I believe it's possible if you have respect for others. Especially if they value, like, let's say my wife, like, for instance, my wife values something that I don't care for. I still have respect for her, so I'll still respect what she values. So I think, because what is the definition of respect? Disrespect is like being insult or disingenuous or uncourteous to one another.
So what do you think about that, Thinking Man? Is that where you were going with that?
No, I think that hopefully you guys can hear me. Struggle streaming for a second. The reason I brought that up is because it's a lot of nuance to respect, and I think it's very subtle. Like, you have to watch people in the way that they move as far as respect is concerned. So if you have someone, we hear the word simp in this space quite a bit. So a lot of times guys get, when you deal with a woman, to a certain extent, some women, they don't necessarily respect the man. They respect his accolades or his money or his status. They don't necessarily see him as a human being. So you have a lot of women that, objectify men. And I know we never hear it that direction, but it goes both ways. So men tend to objectify women for their, physical attributes and stuff like that, and women vice versa for their, for their finances, if that makes any sense.
Their resources, yeah.
Right. So that is disingenuous. So a lot of people will confuse, based on their accolades and how much money they have, women's respect for them, but they don't respect the man, they respect the money.
Right.
If that makes any sense. So it's a lot of nuances to it. People value different things, and you have to watch what it is that people value. You see how people interact. That's why a lot of times people will watch in certain business settings how you interact with the janitors and those who don't have any impact on you, who can't add any value to you, so to speak, or any perceived value. That says a lot to your character. So what I'm speaking on is what you and Q were hitting on, Security Boss, early on in the platform, about how women respond to men.
Right.
I think that there are a lot of, I won't say it's just women, but people in general, we don't value each other. We don't see each other's humanity. We objectify each other.
Yes.
So it's kind of a weird thing to just see it at play, especially in this space.
Yes.
It really is. And a lot of people have for me, when I watch women that struggle with femininity, they oftentimes also struggle with humility as well. The femininity is, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, and y'all chime in and let me know, and again, I'm just thinking this out. Your femininity is rooted in your humility.
I would agree.
Yeah, you have to be humble enough. You have to be humble enough to know when you're wrong or when you're not right. So I agree with that.
So when you see a lot of these women move in a certain way, they don't have any femininity. They come off masculine. They come off, I won't even say masculine, but more so arrogant. If that makes any sense, it's an arrogance. So then they are not feminine. They lack humility. Because like Security Boss, you and Q, like when I see how y'all move, it's not, you guys are confident, but you are also balanced in your approach. You are also open to the possibility that you're wrong. That speaks to your humility and your character. But there are a lot of people who move throughout the world that could care less about that.
You know what, though? Thinking, man, I never associated it with arrogance, though. So, Q, what about you?
No, I definitely get what he's saying, because we do see that a lot, the humility and stuff like that, and basically the humbleness. Some people will listen to respond instead of listening and taking things in and looking at it from someone else's perspective and say, okay, you know what? Security boss might be right. You know, she's not in my environment, but she sees something from a different perspective. So she might be right. Right. Whereas other women that won't do that, you see them combative. You see them, you can't even finish your point to where they can't even see it. So I definitely see what Ken was talking about. That's definitely true.
So, Ken, are you saying that arrogance and masculinity are where that is one of the characteristics of masculinity? Okay, I'm with you. I never thought it was arrogance. I guess because it was so in the moment, I figured it was just something that was going on in the moment, and it wasn't something that they carried away. You know what I'm saying?
And correct. And then also, if you listen to how people talk, they'll tell you what they value. If that makes any sense. So when you hear women talk about certain things that are prestigious to them, things that they value, you'll hear them speak about it. It'll come up throughout conversation. You know, so it's a real subtle. I'm getting a feedback.
Mike, you gotta mute Mike. Your phone.
Are we good? Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you watch people, they often tell you what it is they value. It doesn't make it, you know, right or wrong. They just tell you what they value. So you'll hear a lot of people talk about.
Aw, look at me, Daddy. Aw,
Look at me,
Daddy.
No
Look
standing
at
on the
him.
couch. No standing on the couch. You acting up right now.
He got it from his daddy.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to get with y'all. My son wants to play. I apologize, but I'll be back.
No, this is good.
Dang, this is good, Ken.
Tell them that's okay. We're not gonna share anymore tonight. But thank you for coming.
Okay, y'all have a good night.
All right,
Bye bye. That was
Daddy,
cute.
look at me. Aw.
Hey, look at me. Look at me. That was too cute. But you know what? He's onto something right there. What do you guys think? I'm gonna have to ask the other men. Do you think when women are being combative, that is arrogance? A lot of times. What y'all think about that? I never thought about it being arrogance.
It could be arrogance, or it can be being, I guess, competing. They feel like they have to compete.
Compete.
Competition.
What are we competing for, though? What are we competing for?
They really don't know
Right.
themselves, to be honest. But throughout, you know, time in high school all the way through college, I'll speak for the state of Florida. They tell the girls all the time they either better or they can be as good as men.
Wait, what?
That
Yes,
sounds
in the
more.
state of Florida, they would let the girls know that they're as equals to men or better.
Who is
They
saying
try
this?
to teach them that men are not that smart and that women are smarter, so you don't need no man.
Now, is
All
this
you need is his
a
sperm. That's it.
particular? Listen, Melvin. What was it? Melvin Johnson says, "Call being a bee." Melvin.
But I see it as a different approach, though. A lot of times, this masculinity that women have is a defense mechanism. Fear of being vulnerable.
Not too much.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, Mike.
I think
Either
there's
that,
something to be
either
wrong.
that, or it's either that or conditioning.
It's
They
the
grew up.
conditioning.
It's definitely
They grew up.
conditioning.
They grew up in that environment. Their mother was like that, or the women that were around them was like that.
You know what's sad, Mike? You could stand a girl that had respect and like she saw conservative views. You could send her to college, and by the time college get done with her, she's so far left as a
Yeah.
liberal, it don't make no sense.
And here's also another thing a lot of people don't touch on too is that I've had women who have never really had a bad experience with men, but they believed it because that's what had been told in their ears from their mothers, from their sisters, from social media, even though they never had bad experience with men.
That's conditioning.
Yeah, that is conditioning. Javaris, go ahead and cam up so you can go ahead and come up.
No, security boss left.
Okay, that's weird.
Dang, she
What is this?
This is the new age way of streaming. Get with it, y'all. Javaris, did I get Javaris in? Oh, okay. He didn't come up.
Mike, you gotta mute in between because your phone network is trash. No offense.
It's
No,
my case.
you don't have a problem telling somebody exactly what the truth is.
Like he knows this. I'm gonna get you a new case, Mike. Get rid of that case. Because you stream a lot.
I gotta have a very reinforced case because of my job. You know this.
I don't think it's the case. But no, I think someone put up.
Let me read this chat really well. Got nothing but respect to the ladies on the platform. Thank you, Melvin Johnson. Thank you so much. Melvin says just calls them bees. I'm glad you're not calling us bees, Melvin. Thank you so much.
But I also wanted to say this too, is that especially in today's time with a lot of women going into the workforce, they develop a lot of this masculine energy in order to get ahead. The more they succeed in their career, the less they develop in relationship skills.
I don't think that's true.
Like the ones in the workforce, I call them some of them cappers because they be capping sometimes with that. They's happy to be working, and then you do another survey about how you feel at work, tired. It's just too much. I'm burnt out. So, but I don't know about the other part is as they go up, they become more masculine. My ex, as she went up, she was still feminine the whole time.
I don't think that's true. Like, why? I don't think you'll be more successful if you're more masculine, especially as a woman in the workforce. I don't see that as true. Maybe because in my jobs and stuff like that. Maybe in the military. Maybe because you gotta bring out a little different type of.
You gotta bring that on.
I don't know though.
Yeah,
that is a thing though. There is, in order to be authoritative, that does require some masculinity. And if a woman is in a leadership position, she may think that is required, and it may challenge her femininity.
Because I've actually seen this a lot. Is that especially in the military setting, what you talk about, security boss, is when they had that situative role at work and they bring it home with them.
Can't help it.
Yeah, it's like they didn't clock out, is what you're saying.
I mean, but think about it. If a woman is being feminine in her feminine role at work and she's in that leadership position over a lot of men, okay, she has to be careful with that because that could go really left. Y'all know that, don't you?
Yes, definitely.
That could add to a whole lot
of
HR.
Yeah, a lot of JoJo will be calling you.
JoJo's not even real HR.
He can be HR today. We'll be calling
JoJo is really HR. I just was late that one stream.
Okay.
So listen, guys. Q and I have been here over 2.5 hours. We have been talking about the respect thing. And Q, I appreciate you being here. I want you all to give us your final words. We're gonna get out of here because we've been here a long time. And I myself am getting tired. I hope you all are not, because y'all know Anton is coming on in about an hour and a half. So maybe
I'll be on there.
Yeah, so y'all like to go all night long.
I'm gonna be on there for a little bit because I need to get my sleep patterns back in order.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a job coming up here real soon.
Yeah, my schedule's gonna be a little different.
It's gonna be hard too. I'm telling you, it's gonna be hard. So, do y'all have Dr. Panderson? You got something you want to add before we go?
You're muted, sir. You're muted.
No, I was gonna say not all women, but I have seen women mortgage their souls for their jobs and ain't even making that much money.
Wait, huh?
And then they get 38, 40, 42 years old. They break completely down. Like crash and burn. I've seen
Scan, leave them McDonald girls alone, man.
I ain't talking McDonald's, but I've seen it. But then I've also seen women who work super masculine, crazy jobs, and then they're the nicest, sweetest, feminine woman when they get off. Very few, but females too.
Hold on for a minute. We have to get Javaris. Javaris, I don't think you hear me. Kim up so we can bring you up. I keep seeing you there. Security Bus, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. He says, "Stop! I'm trying to Kim up. Stop kicking me, please." Laugh, Javaris. I'm trying to bring you up, but every time. Hold on, we're gonna try this again. Because Javaris, you've been waiting, and I've been saying, please cam up, but I don't know what's happening with the transition from the backstage to the platform.
Yeah, and unlike Island Q, he laughs at my jokes.
I mean, I don't think your jokes are funny.
No, they're not. Most of the time, you be going a little flat, Dr. Patterson.
No, I'm talking about
It'd be like a flat line.
It would be like, I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
But Sway said, can I tap in for a minute? Just to, yeah.
Come on, Sway.
Come on, Sway. So listen, we're gonna put this on hold. We're gonna try to get Javaris in here, and we're gonna try to get Sway in here.
Because I'm curious to know what happened on the show. I didn't see it. I did not see the
story.
We're gonna let Sway tell you the story because I was listening but wasn't looking. So that might make a difference. But we're gonna see if Javaris and Sway can actually get that link and come in and tell us a couple of things before we end the night. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. I'm gonna get me a nap before the.
I'm trying to get to the nap. I think I'm finally falling asleep.
before we go to work tonight.
Hey, Security Boss, are you gonna join in on the Dustathon tonight?
I might be in there for about 30 minutes or so. You know, 30 minutes always ends up being an hour and a half. Where's the link? Hold on for one moment. We just dropped it. There you go, Sway.
I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where I've been on all night.
I know.
Yep, Mike Dub. We have been on all night.
Y'all at 3 a.m. and woke up at 10 and y'all still be there. I'd be like, and Q, you be the main one. You be looking like this. What happened?
I'll be there, and then they start talking about something that I can't even relate to. I'm like, okay, let me just zone out.
Head over to the side. You be like,
Q, now you see how I felt when the military man was talking about how they were getting bots off and stopping at certain areas to get somebody. I'm like, above me. And they were talking about tossing salads. I had to get off the panel. I'm like, this not for me. This above me.
Yes, above
me. But here's the thing, though. Q woke up real quick.
I just be messing with it.
Q woke up real quick when the topic changed, though.
Yeah. After the topic changed, when they're talking about godly stuff and they arguing, I'm like,
Mike, can you mute your Javaris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there you go. I can hear you. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm trying to turn my camera on, but I'm new to this iPhone stuff. I done had Android for majority of my life, but for some reason my camera ain't showing.
You have to get it through Chrome. I have Android too. Wouldn't change it for nothing. Who told you to go get an iPhone?
Q did.
Q
did. Yep.
I remember that. She did. The Android was good, but you have to enter in through Chrome. But you're okay. I know who you are. I just couldn't get you.
Let's see. I want the lady to see this chocolate.
Oh. No, but that shouldn't stop you, Jarvis. So
down and enter through. Just take the link and put it into Chrome, and you can get your camera.
He doesn't know how to work it because I've accessed my phone through Safari, and it lets you still come on, but it gives you the option. I mean,
this is why.
Is it Safari with the iPhone, and is it Chrome through?
You can use Safari, but just when you click the link, it should give you an option: Safari, Chrome, or Google.
Okay, I guess.
All right, we'll wait on you. Sway, I wonder did Sway have the same problem? I don't see Sway.
No, Sway has cammed up multiple times.
Right. He's a young man.
Yeah, he's technology savvy.
So he can tell us about the story. Who is this? Micaiah Personal Development. Hello, you laughing at us? oh, okay. I got one more. I don't know how I almost forgot this. Q, you was wrong the other night. Anita was wrong.
We know she was wrong though. We said it. But Security Boss, we said she was wrong. Like, and that's why I asked her, I was like, are you okay if you hit a man? Are you okay with repercussions? She's like, yes. My mama told me never hit a man. I mean, we already knew she was wrong. What am I supposed to do? Chastise a grown married elder?
No, but listen, let me tell you something. Anita said she was going to pour hot grease. Mm-hmm. She said hot grease, hot water, whatever it take if this man cheat on me.
Mm-hmm.
That was bad.
Oh, we know that. She even told her husband that. She said her and her husband had the conversation and she told him that. So if they already had that understanding, Security Boss, right? And they have their boundaries of that toxic love, because that's what I said. That's a toxic love. So what am I supposed to do to tell a grown married woman, an elder, hey, you should not be doing this in your marriage. That's not my marriage, right?
Well, let me say this. I don't know if I agree with you because you want to save people's lives. You know, sometimes if we're toxic, right, and everybody around us is doing this,
Mhm.
and you know that this is going on, you don't have to be like you cutting her off or be ugly to her. You might want to say, you know what, Nita, y'all might need to stop doing that. That could end up really bad, you know, because sometimes people don't know that these situations can be detrimental. You know, that it used to be a thing when I was younger for Black women to fight their men. You know, they get drunk on Friday night and they would just fight. It was just
Yeah.
cute, you know, and it was all good until she fell and bumped her head on the stove and died, or till she, you know what, it used to be, I'm gonna tell you, this is so true. They would fight and go back and forth until she cut him and then he saw blood, and then they would be loving each other. When the blood came, oh baby, I love you so much. Oh God, you know, that's how I'm serious, because they were all just drunk and disgusting. So it would have been, I just think you should have said, now, Miss Anita, that is not, you wrong for that. You don't need to be fighting him. If you love him, why don't you show him?
Yeah.
I don't think anything would have been wrong with that.
Yeah. No, I fully get that. Like maybe I should have worded it different. But in my eyes, it's like
She would have came out to you too.
yeah, she's married. We already said, do you know what can happen? Are you ready for jail? And then we asked her, are you gonna tell him he needs to go to jail? She said no. She already had her mindset made on what she was gonna do. So do you feel like, even if I would have voiced that, I feel like sometimes me voicing stuff or holding certain women accountable, it's a waste of breath because they're already stuck in their ways.
But Q, here's the
It might have been all of that, but she needed to hear that it wasn't cute. It's not funny.
Oh yeah.
You know, it wasn't funny to say I'm gonna put some hot grits on this man, or I'm gonna put whatever it takes. Like she, you know, and you realize that people actually do that stuff though. They really do it. So in other words, she was promoting a message to somebody younger or giving them an idea that they may have never thought about. She put it in their head.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah,
But
that's the point I'm making. I agree with what you were saying. She's already affixed. She's who she is. But you just don't never know who's listening. And I just think it gets passed down. And somebody 23 might be like, oh, I heard about some hot grits. I wonder what that'll do.
It'll get you in jail or dead.
But here's the thing though, people like that, they're not gonna learn until they end up in jail. Hell, they still may not learn. But I hate to say this, is that emasculation and abuse of men is so common now, it's often viewed as a joke now.
It's been that way for some time, but I just don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. But listen, y'all, let's turn to Javaris. You showing all the chocolate you want tonight?
Chocolatey.
You feeling chocolatey tonight?
And the iPhone it's giving wonders because you can actually see the pixels compared to your Android you had.
You can see the pixels.
I'm gonna need to stop hating on
we can see the pixels in your
Right.
picture.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Yes, we can. Sway, how are you, sir?
Sway look lost. How's everybody doing tonight?
We can't hear you.
Why can't I hear you guys?
We can hear you.
There you go. There you go. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
He said he can't hear us.
You can't hear us?
You can hear us?
Security boss using some weird website.
Hey. Wait a minute now.
I don't know. So I can't hear anything you're saying, security. I'm
Go to the audio. Go to the settings in the audio.
trying to figure this out.
Wait,
He's
drop
ready
out
here
for a
now.
minute, come right back up. Drop out and come back up.
Y'all heard me?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you. Josh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. How y'all doing?
We're doing
Man.
well. How about you?
Mr.
I'm doing
Lee, I'm
good.
talking.
I'm wonderful. I'm living life. Mr. Patterson, I was talking about the guy that saying, to let loose.
You talking about?
The guy that let loose.
Over on the Kay and Kayla show, somebody said something about letting loose.
Oh, that.
We want to know what y'all talking about.
This is not funny
The guy-
when nobody
Q.
else knows.
Oh man.
Q, you watched it on the LaPeche network.
They
When
showed it on
JR
Thursday.
pulled it up.
When the guy was on the toilet and he was talking, he farted on the show.
Okay, so listen, let me. Did he really like have gas? Was that gas that I heard? Was that really?
Yeah.
I think it was because he was on a toilet.
I don't know if I just heard something funny, and I'm
And
like,
you heard
Listen.
I'm like,
There's a mute button.
That was
There is a
Tone.
mute
Hey,
button.
Tone be talking a little off sometime. Most of
Yeah,
the
I
time.
once
wasn't
Kenny said,
laughing that
"Mama,
much
let me
until
listen."
she
I
kept
was
showing Mr. Pennison, and he was in tears.
yeah,
She
I'm
put him on
like,
the
Yeah.
big
Okay.
screen. He couldn't even give his final words when she
oh
put him on
man,
the big screen.
You wrong for that. Let's see, can we get Sway back up here?
yeah, that was funny, bro.
Sway, can
You
you
can
hear?
hear us now?
Sway in the
That's a no.
morning.
That would be a
You
no.
ain't got the answer, Sway.
Okay.
Sway, can you hear?
All right, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Okay, cool. So
Listen, we didn't want.
I just tapped in. Go ahead. I just
We
tapped
didn't
in
want.
after my shift, so I wasn't really sure what was happening.
Okay, this is what's happened. This is a show about respect or disrespect, and we were talking about how we were trying to define. Hold on for a minute. Let me do this super chat. Mr. Awesome just super chatted $5. Thank you so much for your super chat, Mr. Awesome. What did you have to say? Did you say anything? Thank you. He didn't say anything. Thank you, Mr. Awesome. So what we were talking about is disrespect. We were trying to define disrespect, far as courteous and insult, whatever, the lack of courtesy and all that. But anyway, we came to your episode that you actually had on Sunday. I was driving on my way back into town and I was listening. I wasn't looking. And I said that I thought you did very well. You were on your square and Kevin Samuels came in and I thought that you had very good points and you were speaking from your point of view. I agreed with you. Okay. But I wanted you so much not to say anything. But when you did say something, it sounded too emotional. It sounded like it was something that a woman would say. When you got to the part about paying the bills, you didn't have to say that. The whole world was agreeing with you. But that part right there was an emotional response to him when you had already, I'm not going to say won because there was no win or lose. You had made your point and everybody understood exactly. Well, I'm not going to say everybody. I understood exactly where you were coming from. And you are a man just as he. You didn't have to justify yourself. And I wish you understood that. So
No,
that's
I mean I understand what you guys are saying. When I didn't necessarily have to justify, me sticking up for myself, but I don't know. I just in the moment, you're right. I was a little bit emotional because it did feel like the words were being put in my mouth, and then my viewpoint was being misconstrued, and like I wasn't sure where he came in with the heat. Because if anyone was emotional, it seemed like he was emotional the entire monologue he was giving, the whole 10-15 minutes, and then at the end of it, I'm like, I'm confused how you're attacking me when we're basically are agreeing. I didn't say half of the stuff he said, and he I don't know, and he what really got me mad because I couldn't even respond to him. He just left. I was like, how you just gonna leave without even allowing me to respond? And then when I was trying to respond throughout the conversation, you kept cutting me off.
Yeah.
I'm like,
right.
and so yeah, you're right. I didn't have to say, he don't pay my bills. It is what it is. I'm a man. Cool. Yeah, you're right. I didn't have to say any of that. But it was just in my brain, it was just funny how I don't know. I felt like I was the only one that was understanding that like I'm a grown man too. He's 52, I'm 23. It is an age difference, but like I said, I've been living on my own for the past 3 years. I feel like a grown man. If you look in the video clip, he said the problem is we feel like we're both men. And that like took me back. I was like, what do you like if you watch the playback? He said word for word that the problem with this whole thing is the whole conversation was that we felt like we were both men. And I'm like, what do you mean we feel like we're both men? Am I not a man to you? Are you a woman? Am I like I'm confused, like where the whole disconnect of us not being both men. And then you're right. I didn't have to say, oh, you don't pay my bills or, I'm a grown ass man and all the extra shit. But it was just funny to me how he didn't allow me to respond. He came in emotional, like I'm about to let me what did he say? He said, I want to check that shit right there. Like he already came in hot. And then I think Lee was saying that I came in hot. I was like, I didn't feel like I came in. I was just coming there to talk, get my little point of view and dip out because JR asked me to come on. And I had my girl here and I was trying to, speed through and get out. But then he came in with the heat, trying to put words in my mouth, talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. In my opinion, it felt like he was talking to somebody else, like one of his detractors or something. But then I was just the martyr for it. You know what I mean? Because like half of the stuff he said, I didn't say.
I agree with you. I don't think he was talking directly to you. I think he was talking to your generation. That's why I say to you, I want you to know who you are. You are a young man, and you don't have to clarify that. Your opinion on what you stated was your opinion on what you stated. When you let people make you more emotional, because you just wore all of that. You just wore it. And I'm like, why is he wearing this? He doesn't have to say anything, and you would have been fine. Kevin Samuels talks very condescending. And he's been accepted to do that. It's almost like what people say, okay, he's here to drop the mic, and he had a drop the mic moment. And I wish you would have just had that same drop the mic moment and not said anything to him, because what you said was right. You were actually living in the moment, per se.
Yeah.
You were in the moment. Whether you have gotten to the place where you realize your image makes a difference or not, that's just where you are. And you already said that. I really don't think he was talking to you. I think he was talking to the generation of people and young men around you that are your age, because what you said was, you never did say, I'm against suits. You never said any of that.
Yeah,
And
but if you hear when I asked him, I was like, "What do you think I'm saying, Kevin? Like, what position do you think I'm holding?" He literally said that I believe you shouldn't wear suits, and I was like, "No, no, no, no. Now you're wrong," because the first thing that came out of his mouth was to say that I didn't believe in wearing suits. I was like, I didn't say that once, and so that's where I really felt that he was just straight out putting words in my mouth. And I was like, I did not say you should never wear a suit and suits are bad and you shouldn't invest in suits, especially as a young cat. Like I said, I own 3 suits. So I was just really confused as to how he was putting so much words on my mouth. And then people were like nodding along. People in the chat saying I'm wrong for making faces. I'm like, I'm making faces because this guy is going on and on and on talking to me, saying I'm saying one thing where for the majority what he's saying I agreed with, but you're like being argumentative, trying to put words in my mouth, and I didn't have any room to respond, and if when I did, he cut me off. So
I get what he's saying on Security Boss. I get what he's saying. If Kevin being an older person though should have said, Sway, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to a couple of guys I had on my show that held this point of view.
Yeah,
that
but
would have been better than just going at him.
I asked him what he thought my position was, and he said that my position was that I didn't believe you should wear suits, and I was like, no.
Nobody's trying to attack his image consulting business at all.
No, he's not. But
Nobody's trying to take money.
He's not going to say that, because remember, there are less of you. There's more of people your age that don't believe in suits than there are you.
Yeah.
Right. So he's going to be speaking to the masses, not necessarily you, but he's going to use you because of what you said.
For sure.
Yeah, it seems like he was talking to your generation. You just so happened to be
right, and
the target.
You had some likenesses, like when you mentioned the Jordans and when you mentioned something else. I don't remember everything, but the whole point I'm saying to you, I just wish, I'm saying this to you now, know that you are a man and you're growing up, and what you say for now is who you are. If you have something to learn, you will learn it, but you can't get it with people, with him being, going back and forth with him. You're not going to be able to get it, because
I just don't feel like I did. I literally spoke for 30 seconds throughout the entire interaction, and it was like a 12-minute conversation where he had 2 5 to 6 minute monologues. And the time I did interject, I asked him, I was like, what position do you think I'm holding, Kevin? And he said, you feel that you shouldn't wear suits. I was like, no, now I know you're wrong. Like, you're just talking to talk now. You're not even talking to me, because you're saying that I'm saying one thing or believe in one thing, where if you play it back, Kevin, instead of getting your feelings about me saying, bringing up one point he brought up in the chat about the Jordans, he said you should cut out Jordans, and I brought up one thing that he said about Jordans, and after that I feel like he just hit a switch and then came in and just came with all his talking points and just pushed them on me like I believed against everything he was saying. I brought up one thing he said about Jordans. That's it.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So your power comes in what you do and what you do. If you would have said nothing and just listened to him, you would have been just fine. You would have been more man, because he is a man. We're not saying he's perfect and knows everything, because he's not. There's still things for him to learn. We still have to bridge the gap between the older generation and the younger generation, but we do have to understand each other. So if you could have pulled back from what he was saying, that was what you felt was directed towards you, and just hear what he's saying as a whole, then you would have been fine. It would have been perfect. But I do understand that you felt attacked. I do that too. But that's what we're talking about. We were trying to to the bottom of us as a culture or a community being attacked. I have to hear you tell me something, whether you're 23 or 63. I have to hear that, especially if I don't feel like you're trying to hurt me. I don't think that Kevin Samuels was trying to hurt Sway.
Yeah, I got
So
a question.
if you could hear it from that point of view, then you would understand what I'm trying to say. Right now, I'm not trying to hurt you because you don't know me and I don't know you. I'm just saying to you, I heard a man who has accomplished something in life. You were respectable. You didn't argue. You didn't fight. You didn't use bad language. You did none of that. That is what we want you to show up like. But I need you to listen for just a little bit more. And you don't have to defend what you believe right now because you still have a lot to learn. And that way you don't give him what he's going to say that most of you do. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to say that most of you all don't listen. That's the problem with the generation. That's the problem with your generation now. That's why we're in this position. And he said all of that. Am I right?
I mean, he said a lot of things that like I didn't know where they came from. So like I said, you can watch it. For the most time, I was quiet until he stopped talking. I tried to speak and I got cut off in 10 seconds into talking. I couldn't even rebut anything he said, and then he started going on another monologue. I promise you, watch it back and see what happened. I was quiet the entire time. And honestly, I don't disagree with what he was saying. That's why I haven't gone on any of these platforms. Any of his haters, are like many people have tried to get me on their shows to talk about it and come at Kevin or whatever the case may be. I'm like, I didn't disagree with him. I just didn't like the fact, like how he was talking to me, putting words in my mouth, and basically saying I'm not a man because trying to son me, quote unquote. You know what I mean? I'm not his son. I have my own father. I have my own, like it is what it is. I just don't want to feel that type of energy from a man that I don't know you. You're a great man in the sense that you have a lot of information that you're giving to the young cats and even the older cats who might be lost, but you can't think just because you are older than me that you can son me. I have a father, and I don't even take that from him.
Explain that son thing to me because I don't understand that. I don't know what that means.
Well, look, the example I gave you, he literally said, the problem is we feel like we're both men. What do you mean we feel like we're both? I am a man. What are you talking about? He came in trying to sun me off the rip. And
But what if his responsibility, or what if his responsibility is to see you as his son because of his duty to you as a young black man? What if he feels that way? What if he feels like it's my job to make sure you have all this information? What if he actually feels that way?
No, you can give me the information. Like I've listened to Kevin for a while, and like I said, I have a father and a grandfather. I don't necessarily need you to son me. You can just give your talking points and your ideas, your opinions, and the history, the knowledge, your lived experiences, and I will be quiet and listen like I did. I was quiet. My only problem I had with him was that he put words in my mouth. I didn't disagree with most of the stuff he was saying. I just didn't like that he was thinking that I was pushing a different narrative.
Right.
And then he was trying to son me, or he was trying to like discredit me by the age. And if you watch, he tried to say check that shit like he does he does on his show, but he stuttered a little bit because he realized he wasn't on his show. That's why he brought up the age difference. I'm telling you, I'm not making it up.
I heard some. I mean, I wasn't intent because I was listening and not looking, so it makes a difference. I know y'all don't believe that, but it makes a difference when you see things and you put the words to it. It's a little different. But let me say this to you, as an older woman myself, I would love to see the community work together. I would love it for you to accept wisdom from me if I had it for you. And not just know that it can only come from your grandfather and your grandfather and your dad. I don't know for sure if that's where he was coming from, but I also do know that there's a way for me to display that. I do know I need to speak to you in a way. I do know I can't be condescending. I do know I have to empathize with what you're saying. And he's very condescending. So I'm agreeing with you on that.
But I also think Cameron comes from that tough love generation.
But that wasn't necessary. He wasn't fighting. He wasn't fighting him. Sway wasn't fighting. So it was no need for, I didn't see the need for tough love. I didn't hear the need for tough love. So I don't really know about that. But my point I was just trying to make is, Sway, I just wish I wish you didn't get emotional about it because he can't keep you, and neither can I keep you from being a man. That's where you are. That's who you should be. and you should work at that each and every day to become a better one. And if somebody has something for you, I think I just want you to be able to hear it and not be emotional about it, because it's not going to take away from you. Just embrace it if you can, and just, continue to work on it and continue to grow. That's basically what I wanted to say.
For sure. Like I said, I'm cool, calm, and collective. I don't want to put disrespect on Kevin. I don't want to put disrespect on Lapeef. I wasn't trying to argue anywhere after that stream. I'm like, if you want to pick a side, you just go deal with that stream. I'm not going to disrespect Kevin and anything he says or him as a person. I didn't disagree with the things he said. I just didn't like how he approached me and how he was, quote unquote, trying to sun me. That's it. Putting words in my mouth. I like Kevin. I could have said, Kevin, we agree, but he kept talking. Anytime I talk, he would cut me off, or at the end, he just left. I couldn't even respond. So
yeah, that was that drop the mic thing. Sometimes a lot of this is entertainment. I hate that part because it was a sincere moment. It should have been. But you add that fanfare and all that to it, and it kind of gets lost. So, I'm gonna apologize for that myself, because it's a real thing. It was a real opportunity for two men to talk about it, and he being an elder, for you to, take something away. But I get exactly what you're saying. So,
hey, security boss, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Let's just say Kevin Samuels got on, and I rock with Kevin Samuels. I rock with Sway. Hey, y'all cool with me. Let's just say that he was talking about the image thing when he changed this black man. People should wear a suit 3.6 times a week, whatever it was that was said. Let's just say Sway said, hey, I don't ever want to wear a suit a day in my life.
Right.
I work in tech. I'm 26. And I just don't want to wear one because of how I feel. Is Sway any way wrong? Like, do we have any respect for a younger person to be who they are? Disagree or say, look, I don't want to participate. I want to do what I want to do.
Okay, that's fine for Sway to be there, be that way.
That's what that was what he said.
If that was what he said, it would be fine for Sway to take that position. But what the other man was saying, what KS was saying, is that it has been proving that a suit can get you in places where just having that stance of not wearing one will not get you. I mean, it's just a proven fact. It's almost like being a clean shaven man. A clean shaven man can go into places where a man with a beard can't go. But that's not saying that I don't want a man to wear a beard or a man got to be clean shaven. He just has to understand there may be some limitations to what he can and cannot do, or places that he can and cannot work.
There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that
simple. He have a right to his opinion. Not saying it this way, but does a younger person have a right to their opinion, even if we believe it's wrong? Can we accept it?
Well, I don't think it's a wrong or right thing. It's just your outcome. It's where you're going. If that's where Sway is right now at this point in his life, that is where he is. But what Kevin was trying to say, if we want to change the image, and I think I'm saying this right, if we want to change the image of the Black community, there has to be some change that takes place, or there are going to be people who look at us like we're criminals, we're thugs, we're this and we're that. That's what it's going to be. Now, if you're cool with that, then we can stay right there and we'll be there. But if you're not cool with that, then you might want to put on a suit 3 days a week and go out into the public and show people how smart you really are. That's what he was trying to say. But it's still your choice. But he's just telling you, if you want, it's just simple. I mean, but because I wear a uniform, like, when I said this earlier, when I put on my uniform, the respect I get is outrageous, y'all. It's just outrageous. You get free food, you get free coffee, you get whatever you want. Thank you for your service. This is left and right.
I can attest to that.
I think it's just free game that I wasn't there, but sometimes elders are giving you free game that they learned later in life. So instead of Sway, you're 23, I think. Instead of you learning it at their age, that they probably learned it 25, 30, they're probably giving you free game, because he's right. Suits, I'm in the business world. Suits will get you far, right? IT, if you're in IT, it will get you far. We can't say it doesn't. Come on. I'm in human resource now. If you have two people and one is in a suit and they both have the same accolades on a resume, you have one in a suit and one's not in a suit. I'm looking at what they look like. Image matters. We're not going to be naive and say image doesn't matter. If they both have the same qualities on the resume and they both speak the same way, I'm going based on who has the better image.
But
the
you
end
know
of the
what?
day.
But let me say this into Sway's defense. He didn't say that. So
Yeah, that was just me
I'm
saying
actually
it.
talking to Dr. Panderson. Sway didn't
Yeah.
say that. Sway didn't have a problem with the suits.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I
saying
think I was,
respect people even if a person believes something different, can respect them where they are. That's all I'm saying.
Can you, if they, yes, of course, you can respect them where they are. Mhm.
Dr. Panderson, I can understand your position, but then I can also understand Kevin's position is when if a younger cat is talking, like, disagreeing with the whole suits thing, and then Kevin would be, where are the outcomes that you have to support not wearing a suit gets you where you want to go, especially if in
No,
specific
I agree.
areas, you know what I
I
mean?
agree. I'll wear
Yeah.
a suit. But I'm just
I,
saying if the person doesn't want to wear a suit because they said they don't feel like it, I want to work over here and I want to eat 2 turkey sandwiches per week.
yeah, and that's their
Right.
prerogative, but then you can't complain about not being where you want to be in your life for certain,
Exactly.
certain
Yeah,
situations.
that's true. I'm just
Exactly.
saying more like don't try to force a suit on somebody who says I don't want to wear one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Type of thing. Meaning let them be where they are.
Yeah.
Well,
I
If
think
they
he was
want
just passionate, you know what I mean? He
think the
wanted
whole
to see us do better. So I'm
I,
not, I
yeah,
wasn't just, I don't disagree with wearing a suit or his passion about wearing a suit. I just didn't like the way he was coming at me. So
No, I
right,
agree. I was just throwing that out as a hypothetical, just more like communication. Can
right.
someone be wrong? Can somebody be way left, Republican, Democrat, whatever they believe? There's people talking about polygamy and other stuff. I don't believe in none of that. But
agree to disagree. That's where
Yeah,
that came
I have
from.
a question. So, would you guys say that this is centered around respecting people's opinion despite them disagreeing with you?
absolutely. That's been the question we've been asking all night long. Can someone be wrong and you still respect them? We've been
I
asking
mean,
that
I can.
question all night.
Like,
You
there are
should be
certain,
able to. You should be
yeah,
able to.
there are certain lifestyles, that I don't agree with, but I'm not gonna go out my way to disrespect somebody.
Exactly.
I see everybody gets my respect regardless of, you know, um, I guess how they approach it on how they talk. I tend to just, if we can have a respectful conversation, then I will try to see your point of view, try to understand where you're coming from. If we can't, then I'll just remove myself. I'm already losing my hair. You know what I'm saying? That's why I cut it all off. I'm bald headed. You know what I'm saying?
Now you got the milk dud haircut.
Yeah. The front is gone, boy. I got the drop top with the tin on the side. But
So
but
hold on
the
for a
point
minute. Go ahead, Javaris. Go ahead, because I was gonna get TJ
uh
in here and I was gonna say hello to Chicago Rilla and let him also speak before
yeah. But I
TJ.
was just
Hello.
saying,
Oh,
for
wait a
me
second.
personally, if we can't, have a respectful conversation, respectful discourse, I'm just gonna leave. I'm going by my business because you ain't finna stress me out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
I'm
I
trying to
want
get
to
my
say.
hair back. Yeah,
And I want to
I'm trying to get hair
I
like
want to
you.
say
I'm trying to get them long curly locks.
I got you. A
So I'm
Brazilian
trying to
wig will fix
remain.
that. I got you.
Oh no, we ain't doing that. No, we're not doing that. We ain't doing no toupees. We're not doing no. But the way
You're
y'all
gonna
call
have
them
one of them hair,
units, no
you're gonna have
quick
that man
weave.
unit. I had
Oh,
that
I
man
ain't
unit
doing that.
on my show. I had some
Them
man
quick
units on my
weaves.
show the other day. Man unit. I know
Oh no,
perfectly.
I'm not.
You
No,
had one
no,
on,
no.
security boss?
I didn't have it on. I featured a man unit, and all the guys was like,
Oh,
no, no, no. But the hair was looking so good. I knew that some of them would go for
I
it.
don't.
I
Listen,
seen
I
the
don't care.
I
video
knew they
and
would.
ooh, it looked good. I mean, it changed the man from a 3 to a 9 real quick with
I
that
Oh, not
don't
unit.
from a
care.
not from a 3 to a
I stay a
9.
three. I stay a three. I
Ooh,
stay a three.
So TJ,
I stay a
are
three.
you there, TJ?
yeah, I'm I'm out for the night. Y'all have a good night. Awesome
Dr.
time.
Patterson, we'll see you soon. Miss TJ. TJ?
Really?
Chicago Rilla?
What's going on, y'all?
Okay. Hey, Chicago Rilla, how are you?
Hey, hey, security boss. Q, go to bed. Jesus Christ.
Drink some water.
I'm about to drink some water. Then I'm about to go tend to my wife.
Don't tell that man what to do.
Flash that ring.
How
Hey.
about that? No, I ain't. No. Excuse me, security boss, but I was in my bad
Mike,
BMO
you're gonna have
all
to mute
last
out
night.
Mike, mute yourself. There you go, Chicago Rilla. Go ahead. You was doing what?
No. I said I was in my bad bay mode all last night. So no, I ain't flashing no rings today. But I didn't know when I was gonna see Sway again or grace the platform with him again, and I don't have his math. So I did want to pull up when you extended the invite because I know when I came up, I hadn't seen all of the interaction, and I didn't feel like I was directly addressing Sway, with my commentary, I was actually using that moment and I was speaking to something different and the opportunity that I saw in the moment. So I wanted to publicly say, Sway, if you were offended or if what I said was taken out of context and, whatever, I wanted to publicly apologize to you, because I think the bigger moment and what was being said and what the conversation that needed to happen, Tuesday we did kind of get into it, and shout out to Cheeky because he did represent a different perspective very well. And I love talking with cats that are younger than me because it gives me an idea. When he's talking about sunning, security boss,
I don't know.
yeah, he's talking about the idea of a man treating another grown man, regardless of age, treating you less than a man.
Oh.
You're addressing somebody as if they're your son and you have the right to discipline, correct, almost, administer corporal punishment or whatever. And as men, we may not have like a ritual or a formalized rite of passage, but we all, I think, Sway said he's 26. So at 23? Okay, my bad. So at 23, he may have already passed through what he considers to be a rite of passage to become a man, right? So the first thing I have, like one of the things that we always say, or I think the gentleman will attest to what we often hear is, I'm a man before I'm anything else, right? That means don't disrespect me. I'm a grown man first, and I'm gonna address my business, and I'm gonna handle that as such. Now, what I don't agree with and what I see in spaces are, young lions may feel entitled and they buck up and do too much. And I'm not saying that was the case Sunday, but I do see that sometimes where young lions trying to preserve and stand on their square in terms of their manhood, they'll buck up too much. But if an individual feeling like they being sunned, they gonna do everything in their power to stand on their square and make sure you understand at the end of that interaction that I'm a man first and you will deal with me as such. And that person, older, younger, rat, cat, dog, whatever, you're going to have to respect that. Right. So I understood, going back afterwards and looking at some more of the context of the conversation that was being had. But I did issue a challenge to the OGs. I issued a challenge to the young bloods on Tuesday. I issued a challenge to the OGs too. OGs, we got to do a better job of listening a lot more. And I'm not speaking to Sunday, that interaction. I'm just saying this in two parts. I'm issuing a formal apology to Sway if he took what I said out of context and thought I was addressing that towards him, or if it was any offense taken whatsoever. The other part is young bloods have to show grace to some of these OGs. And OGs, we definitely got to do a better job of listening to these young cats and then pouring into them and investing in them for their space. But Sway, I want to ask you this, because I asked Cheeky this, and I have a honest question. Is this generation more soft? Are they emotional and their feelings are more soft? This generation of men.
I mean, than the previous generation?
Yeah.
Honestly, no. I don't think they're as soft, because we saw a lot of the mistakes that led to like the incarceration rate, or like, getting a whole bunch of kids. Like, where I think maybe they might be soft in the sense that they don't tolerate disrespect from elders or just from people in general. Like, they might, be more sensitive to that. Like, they don't want to necessarily feel like they're getting sunned, and they might be sensitive to that end. But I don't think they're soft per se compared to the previous generation. We're not outright going, starting fights for people saying the N-word to us. We're not outright starting, trying to, we're not trying to put ourselves in a bad predicament, like going to jail or losing our jobs or being seen as I don't know, just discredit our personality or our manhood like that. We're not necessarily putting ourselves in a position to be exposed by getting emotional. I think there is still a lot. I just don't think it's as many. I think it's probably dropped about 10%. If you want to be honest, I still think it's a problem, but I don't think it's like how it's been 20 years ago. No.
So do you think weaker and softer, are they the same? The reason
No.
why I say that is because the word of God said you all will be much smarter, but you're weaker. you're weaker as individuals, but you're very much smarter.
Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah, I agree with you on that, security boss. That we're probably smarter, but I guess in the terms of sticking up for, like, going to war, trying to fight, physically, or trying to do things.
Yeah.
Most society would seem out of pocket, but in our case, we're just sticking up for ourselves. A lot of times, we might just let it go and brush it under the rug. Be like, nah, we're not going to placate into something that might put us in a disadvantage. Like in high school, I never once got into a fight in high school. Many people try to fight me. Many people try to start something with me. I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, why am I going to fight you to fuck up my chances to go to college? This is high school. I don't know none of y'all. And I think a lot of guys now are trying to realize, like, I'm not about to sacrifice my life for another person instigating something. Now, does that mean we're softer or weaker? It might mean we're weaker, but I don't necessarily make us soft. You know what I mean? I don't think we're soft, because we did have to put hands on somebody. I would still put hands on somebody. I'm just not about to initiate nothing. I would have to be smart enough where I can set it up where it seems like I'm defending myself, and I'm not going to jail for defending myself. You know what I mean? So,
SB, can I ask one more question? And I promise I'll get out of y'all face. And I'm going to drink one more bottle of water, Q. And then I'm going to go tend to my wife.
Okay, husband.
Hey,
I feel like he's really feeling this wife thing,
Oh yeah,
he's really.
I'm flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm flexing.
Hey, Rilla, congratulations, bro.
Thank you, fam. Thank you. I appreciate
We're in the wedding, so we need our invitations, bro.
Oh, there's Rick Judah, security boss.
You said, wait, what you say?
Y'all just coming in all late.
We need our invitations. We need our invitations, Chicago. We need our invitations, and then I want you to make sure you're paying them records that you were showing on the little. I want them records playing.
All that's coming, fam. All that's coming.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The pandemic slowed a couple things down, but I promise all that is coming. Sway, honestly, and I asked Cheeky the same thing, and I asked this of a lot of young cats, man. So what do the OGs need to do to facilitate the discussion?
Good question.
And then what? Yeah, I won't ask what y'all need to do on this one. I just need to know what we need to do, what we need to work on, man.
Yeah, good question.
I think honestly, it's just showing that that what you're saying can lead to actual results, and you're not just talking. You know what I mean? Like, you not just talking to talk, because you went through it, that you feel that this, like, if you are saying we need to, like, say you're a businessman, right? Like, I'm not going to use Kevin, but let's say you're a black businessman, and you're saying we need to upscale the black community in these certain ways, but then you're saying that, but you're not actually implementing in our community. You might be doing it somewhere else, like, I'm for it, but not in my backyard type of vibe. Then we're not going to really, fuck with what you got to say, because you're just talking. You're not actually implementing what you're saying. But I think, you can't come into the situation like you're our fathers. You can come into the situation like you're our mentors, and you got game and knowledge, and not to slack how we feel or what we experience, but you got to understand that we're listening. For the most part, we're listening. But when we're listening and then we see that your life doesn't add up to what you're saying, it's kind of hard for us to get on board. You know what I mean?
Hey, and listen, that's a fair point. One of the things that for me, and even with my sons, I'm the self-proclaimed poster child, right? For in some areas, what not to do, right? Of what not to do. I don't say follow my exact example, and so my life does line up in the sense of, if you're not, a lot of y'all young cats, you're right. Y'all are intentional. Y'all are very intentional right now, and I love the way that you posed that question. I mean, not pose that question, but that observation, that scripture quote, SB, I think is spot on too. I think that was spot on. So, Sway, my last question, bro. Can y'all give the OGs a little bit more grace and help teach us as much as we trying to teach y'all?
Hey, brother, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm an anomaly when it comes to lack of ignorance. I'm very open to being wrong. I'm not gonna cap you. A lot of these young cats need to drop their ego. I think that's probably the biggest thing. I think we need to acknowledge that the young cats have an ego, and not in the sense that you're attacking them. It's like, we have to show them that they have an ego. Like, you got to drop it. You are wrong and you don't have all the answers. Older guys might have more answers to you because they've been through it. And like I said, I talk less than I actually listen. I listen to you guys all the time. I'm just quiet. Even when you were talking, I'm just quiet. I like to take in the information because I didn't get all the answers growing up, especially when it comes to dating, relationship, men and women stuff. And I didn't get none of that. I've had to listen to a lot of things of how to do things properly, but I've always had the feeling that the Black community has not been doing things properly. Now, if you're one of these young brothers who feels like that the Black community is okay, or you're cool with being different and not being like quote unquote part of like the white man way, or like doing things like the white man, talking properly or wearing a suit, or getting a trade job, like not trying to be, what I mean? Like, I think also, I'm not gonna lie to you, growing up, trades were not promoted to us. Getting a skill, marketable skill, was not promoted to us. All we heard was get an education, get a degree, and you'll do better than you went to high school. And then we're coming to find out that if you get a degree, you'll end up with more student loan debt than you do from the job you get. And then now a lot of us don't even want to get a degree, and instead they'll sell drugs because they're trying to keep up with the lifestyle that women are putting on the young cats. So they're trying to get money while also being a man, while also not being disrespected by men and women. And so they're doing anything they can to make fast money. And I think that's probably the biggest issue, that we need to slow it down and tell them, you got time to make your money, but you need to get a marketable skill that can actually translate into that later on in life, like 5 years down the road. Do something, that has a 5-year track, so then you can actually take care of your family in 5 years. You know what I mean? Or take care of your girlfriend. What do I do? Right now, I'm an electrical assistant, and I'm training to be an electrician, but I also have a second job where I work at a restaurant. So that's where I just came from.
Okay, cool.
So-
and can the ladies answer the question too, Miss Security
Yeah,
Boss?
I want to tell Sway, listen, Sway, you have been nothing but a gentleman since you've been over here. I think this is your first time being here. I really appreciate it. But I want you to do something, because you did say something. You are different. You are listening. So how do you feel about taking the message and actually telling your counterparts about what's real and what's true and what to do? Do you do that?
Yes. Yes, I'm very blunt. I could not care about your necessarily your feelings, but I'm very blunt when like you're wrong. You actually my friends. I'm probably the most blunt out of my friend groups, and they all know that I'm gonna be honest with them, and that leads to when I give them a compliment, they also know I'm being for real. I'm not just
You get
playing
labeled
into
an
their
asshole for that,
feelings.
Sway?
Of course, my mom called me an asshole straight up.
That's what I thought, because I get labeled an asshole, but I wanted to know if the ladies can answer. Could the ladies answer the question as far as what they would tell the ladies?
Hold on
Can
for
I
one
say
second.
something, Gorilla?
Let's let TJ answer that question too, because she's also an elder, and we struggle with. We want y'all to have the right message. So TJ, can you go ahead?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I've been struggle streaming. I have the G baby, so it's just. So if you hear her in the background, please. I'm on grandmother duty. But listen, I wanted to call in because Sway, I shouted you out the other day, and I just really, my position is a little bit different. I believe that what she said, okay, that he was wrong. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera off. I'm gonna turn the camera off. Okay, but I'm talking. Okay, come here, Tinky. I believe that Kevin was wrong in his approach from the very moment that he came in, and I've said it, and I don't mind saying it, because again, from the onset, he came in bogarting the conversation, and I think there was an opportunity there, because I've said an opportunity for teachable moments, and I do believe that my generation has to understand that however we need to communicate with you this generation, millennials and zennials, is because we set it up that way. And what I mean by that, we set it up in a way to allow millennials and zennials to have a voice that we didn't have growing up, to be able to express ourselves to our parents and grandparents, because we didn't have that. So what happened with that, when y'all start expressing yourselves, we didn't tell you how to stop. and then with it, because even with my own daughter, my daughter's 27. So a lot of times, because she would think certain things, she would say what she thought. Well, we didn't teach you how to put it in context and how to be able to deal with constructive redirection. But also, I'm talking just a second. I'm there. But she's 10 months, so forgive me. But also, with that, this is also the generation of everybody gets a prize and everybody has to be perfect. So what we also didn't teach you is how to deal with constructive redirection, how to deal with rejection, how to deal with, because in so doing, now I'm just speaking in general terms, you all took any type of constructive redirection as a personal affront as opposed to redirection. So we kind of created the quote unquote monster that we have to undo. But the challenge is, because we have created this, we have to allow you to express, it and listen first. We have to listen. And I'm not coming from a place that I have it all together, because I had to learn it and I'm still learning it with my daughter. And I gave an example of how I approached a young lady about her image a little over 10 years ago, and we didn't know each other. But if I came at her looking down at her, she would have been like, "Bye, bitch. Who do you tell?" But I approached her in such a way that she received what I had to say. And we were just colleagues. We weren't even friends. But because I went to her and I said, "Listen, you are very smart." I said, "But what I can see is the way that men are looking at you and the way women are looking at you. They're not hearing what you're saying. They're looking at how you're dressed." And I said, "Because you are so knowledgeable, I would recommend you do this. I would recommend that you do that." She took it on. She thanked me. She took it on. Within a few months, she had been in the same position for 5 years as a GS employee, as a GS11. She had been in that position for 5 years. After we became closer and I kind of mentored her and took her under my wing on certain things, she got promoted and left. She outranks me now in the federal government. But because I took the opportunity as a teachable moment and not look down to her and talk condescendingly to her, that enabled her to open up more to me. So now I consider her like my little sister, because she's about 10, 12 years younger than me. So it's something we have to learn. And I said it before and I say it again. And the fact that, when Kevin said, I've been doing this as long as you've been alive, I was heated because I know that's not true. I was there. Okay, I know him, but that's another story. But anyway, I just thought it was very condescending and unnecessary. So that's why I wanted to call in. I'm sorry.
I just said thank you so much, because thank you so much for what you just said, because I've always said the way you give me the message is going to dictate my response. So if you give it to me in a good manner, I'm going to take that in, I'm going to soak it in. If it makes sense, I'm going to use it. If you give it to me in a bad manner, I'm probably just going to walk away. You know what I'm saying? Some people are not even going to walk away. Some people are going to cuss you out, call you out your name, be ready to square up with you. So I've always said, I'm of the mindset of what you're saying right now. I'm going to come to somebody respectful and say, "Hey, this ain't working. The way you acting, the way you lashing out with people, there are people watching you." You know what I'm saying? For a lady, I would say, if she's talking all loud and crazy and she's showing her body out in public, and she gets an attitude, there are dudes, they probably looked at her, "Oh, that's wifey," but the minute she opened her mouth, they're like, "Nah, I'm cool." And it's the same way for a dude, you know what I mean? If he's being ignorant, if he's being nonchalant, like he's not receptive to receiving information, you know what I mean? A chick could look to him as a husband,
Yeah.
and he opened his mouth and he sounds ignorant and he's not willing to learn and being open to the possibility of being wrong. She's like, "Yeah, I'm not rocking with that," and just and they end up, and you could have just lost out on the person that's supposed to be for you.
And it's interesting because I did a live yesterday. My same friend, she called into the live. Well, she was in the chat. And again, we have been friends for over 10 years now. And she dubbed me her mentor. I didn't dub. She said, "You're my mentor." but it's all in the approach. And what I want to commend you, I didn't see the end when I heard you, kind of snapped a little bit, Sway, but but the part that I watched, you were quiet, you were respectful, and I saw your facial expressions, but I'm just going to be honest, I was making them too. I'm like, what? But again, you were. And I'm not saying I got it all, because again, this is something I've had to learn and still learn with my daughter. She's 27, things I'm learning with my nephews who are your age. But again, we just can't put it on y'all, because we created y'all. And that's just the bottom line up front. So whatever monster this is, we created it, and we have to learn how to deal with it. And it's a two-way street, just not a one-way conversation.
And I agree with you, TJ. My closing remarks, so Security Boss can wrap this up. When you're speaking to the younger generation, honestly, I think instead of telling them like necessarily they're doing something wrong, is more better to just give them all the options and let them make their own choices. Like, if you want to dress a certain way, cool. But if you dress this way, you'll probably get this option. If you dress this way, you'll probably get this outcome. It's like, give them all the knowledge and let them make their own choices. And now they have the knowledge and they can't get mad at nobody. We already told you what would happen if you do certain things, and you'll get the outcomes that you get. If you rob a bank, you probably will go to jail. If you dress a certain way, men are probably going to look at you for sex only. If men dress a certain way, people are probably going to think you a thug and you don't have brains. I tried to tell my girl this with her nose piercing. I got her to take her nose piercing out. And she was like, why don't you like my nose piercing? I was like, first of all, it makes your face look clear. You're aesthetically more pleasing. And second of all, in men's brains, when you have a nose piercing, you're only two options to us. You're either wifey or everything else. And a lot of times when you have the nose piercing in, you're considered one time, not a long time, and you're everything else. So I try to give people all the options and then let them make their own choices. I'm not necessarily there to discredit what they're doing. I'm there to give them a realization of what they're doing may lead to a certain outcome. And then if you do something different, that also may lead you to either a better outcome or the outcome that you actually want. You know what I mean? I'm all about giving everybody all the information and let them make their own choices. I'm not there to judge you for what you're doing, because that's your own life and you're going to have to live with it. Point blank, period.
I agree.
I'm gonna go ahead and go, because she's falling asleep, but I just want to call in. Oh, I'm sorry, Tinky. Okay. Thank y'all for having me in. Bye bye.
So,
can we see the VCR I keep talking about? I'm sorry, Mr. Kitty.
Sway, I totally agree with that. And whenever you're ready to be married, I've been married 26 years of my life, and I'm successfully married. This is my thoughts. And if you're wanting to know get some blueprints and some keys on how to be married for 26 years of your life, you can come on back over here to Security Boss Unsolicited anytime.
Say it right now. I'm trying to learn. That's what I'm on here for.
Javaris?
Yes, ma'am.
I know the Anton starts at 11:45. I was supposed to take a whole hour and 30-minute nap. And none of this is happening right now.
You might as well just transition over Security Boss and then
I'm gonna be looking like Q.
I'm gonna be like this. I'm tired myself. I'm like, I don't think I can stream that long tonight.
So Javaris, listen, this is your first time coming over, but you can't make it your last. You gotta come back.
I will be back. I definitely will be back. I'm here to suck up knowledge, any game y'all can give me.
That's right.
All
So
right.
Wade, I'm inviting you back again. I think you did an excellent thing. I just pray that you didn't say anything, because sometimes you don't have to say a word. There's power in silence. There's power.
Q, when you starting your podcast up, Q?
I don't know. I gotta discuss some things with JR.
Jojo, you know you HR for life. For life.
The fake one.
Chicago, welcome to the real side. The real side.
Jojo, you dropping any new music?
Huh?
No,
I asked Jojo if
he
he's dropping
acting up,
any new
man.
music.
We trying to get Devontae out there.
Devontae.
Can't control Devontae.
So Q, listen, I appreciate you. I did not intend on having you this long, but you're a trooper. You did it.
No, thank you.
Whenever you get that platform up, you know I'm there with you. Whatever you
No,
want.
thank you. Thank you for having me, and you and your husband, the husband that's back there. Thank y'all for having me on the show.
The man is back there doing all the work.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you have anything else you wanted to say before we go?
Nope. I'm just glad you allowed me to talk and get my
appreciate
side
you,
off. I
Sway,
appreciate
brother.
it. I didn't even
appreciate
intend to
you,
come
brother.
on here.
I
You
learned
just came
something
up on
from
my
you
feet
today,
while I
Sway.
was at work, and I tapped in, and just happened to
You
happen.
hear me, Sway?
What'd you say?
I was just glad to be on with Sway.
I want to say I appreciate you, brother. I learned something from you today. So I think you're on the right track. I think you're doing amazing. I learned something from you today. I just want you to know that.
And honestly, that's why I tap into these spaces, just to give the younger perspective, so the older cats aren't confused or they're just talking to themselves. So
Excellent. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't make this your last time, and we'll see you soon. Also, to the chat, listen, y'all have been excellent. Y'all have been with me 3.5 hours. I thank you so much. Let's come back on Sunday. I'm gonna be doing a pre-show. I'm gonna be over on Sir Hell's channel. So listen, tap in on Sunday night at about 9 o'clock for a pre-show, and we'll go from there. I'll see you
quote
out.
before you leave, security boss? You gotta give us an ending quote, like something to think about.
You caught me on that one. Anyway,
I give you one. I give you one.
Give you one. Just be your best person. No. Try to work on being the best you each and every day. How about that?
Okay.
I like that, Tavares. I'm gonna have to
work with that. Yeah. You know, I try. You know, I sprinkle a little dab, a little knowledge in there a little bit. You know.
You did. I appreciate it. I accept it. I'll see y'all soon. I might see y'all in about 5 minutes. How about that? I'll see y'all.
No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road, I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul.